We are TIMBERSPORTS.
United by passion for the sport.
And competition.
We chop down racism.
And say yes to tolerance.
Yes to tolerance.
Säg ja till tolerans.
Yes to tolerance.
Yes to tolerance.
是的，理解宽容。
Powiedz tak tolerancji.
Ja zu Toleranz.
We are TIMBERSPORTS.
We believe in chopping down barriers and building up respect. Everyone is welcome. Let's create an open and inviting atmosphere together. Chop on and stay respectful.
Hello everybody and welcome to the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS World Championships 2024, coming to you live from Toulouse, Club 85! Oh my word. Let me introduce you to one of the most famous STIHL TIMBERSPORTS athletes and former world record holder. Please give it up for the one and only Sterling Hart.
Thank you, Floaty. It's an honor to be back here in France again. Last time I was in France, 2018, managed to come away with a gold medal from the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS, and just an honor to be back here in France. All good vibes, all good memories, so looking forward to a big night at TIMBERSPORTS.
Yeah, and everybody seems to be having a great time here in Club 85. This is a great place to be. Is everybody having a good time?
It's flowing. It's flowing well here at Club 85.
Well, we have to start this weekend with a question about team sports. What makes it so special? What is the thing that touches you the most when you think about the competition tonight?
Well, STIHL TIMBERSPORTS is traditionally known as an individual's event, right? It's each person on their block or with their saw, but all of a sudden we're here for a team event, and it adds an extra layer of competition to this. And not just a team event, but everybody is here representing their respective countries. And when you're out there competing for your country, similar to an Olympic venue, you find an extra gear. And, you know, it means a lot more when you win, and it's also a lot more crushing when you lose. So everybody here this weekend competing is just looking to come away with a medal and do their country proud.
And that's what we talked about when we watched the time trials together, and you had goosebumps talking about that pride to be able to compete for your country. Is that what makes this so special?
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, we're in a packed arena here, over 4,000 people in attendance, sold out arena for this show. So, you know, having a lively crowd like that here in Toulouse just magnifies everything that much more on stage. And, you know, you couldn't ask for a better venue. And we've got 19 of the best teams in the world here this weekend to put on a show for everybody.
And of course, everybody that knows the French crowd knows that they're going to go berserk. But right at this table behind our camera, some Aussies, and they've been really, really loud. No wonder, no wonder, having won this trophy 8 times. Do you think they are the team to beat this year as well?
You know, every team that's won the year before is always the team to beat. And, you know, I've said this before in previous broadcasts, even after qualifying today. You know, it almost looks as if the only team that can beat Australia this year is the Australian team themselves. You know, they're going to look to minimize all their mistakes. That's a good thing. They've been in here pre-gaming for a little while. I don't know if they fully understood me. But no, they're a powerhouse. They've won 4 or 5 of these in a row, 9 overall, I believe. And, you know, they are the team to beat for a reason. And everybody else is going to be chasing after them, trying to dethrone them.
We've taken a close look at all the teams in the practice and, of course, in the time trial. Who do you think are like the top 3 or 4 teams? And what European team do you think could come in with a surprise tonight?
Yeah, you know, traditionally we've always kind of had a top 4, like we call them powerhouses. You know, you've got your Australias, your New Zealands. They've got the most titles. They've got all the titles, in fact. And then you've got your Canada and USA. But what we've started to see over the past 4 or 5 years is that gap now starting to close past that 4 seed. You know, teams like Poland, who have attained a silver medal here before. And, you know, Poland is probably looking to be the favorite right now. They were the highest ranked European qualifying team this weekend. They've got a wealth of experience on their team, as well as the youth, as well as some very, very powerful young guns. Some rookie world champions on there. They look to be one to beat. As well, you've got Sweden. They didn't qualify great, but they've also got some young talent mixed in with some veterans. So between Poland, Sweden, and Czech Republic, who has always been dominant as well, those are kind of my 3 European teams to watch, as well as those 4 powerhouse teams that are always perennially at the top of that bracket.
You mentioned it before, you've been in France. You really enjoyed yourself. You brought home a shining medal. What do you think about the French crowd? What makes it so special?
I don't know. What do you guys think about the French crowd? They're getting there. They're getting there. They're just getting warmed up. No, like for me to be back in France, it brings back a lot of fond memories. You know, it was not only my first gold medal, it was our first pro gold medal. And, you know, that carried an enormous weight for being able to bring that back home to your home country. And the crowds have always been amazing here, always super receptive of having us here, making us feel appreciated. And I don't think we expect anything less this weekend here.
And if you take a look at all the teams, what do you think is the thing that makes you win those competitions? You know, it's a head-to-head race. You have to beat the opponents in a direct match. What makes the difference? What do you need? We've talked about experience, we've talked about the young guns, but at the end of the day, it's just fractions, it's just millimeters that make the difference. How do you get to be the winning team?
You know, it depends on everything. Timber sports is a game of inches. You know, you can win or lose by an inch, by a millimeter, by a half of a second. You know, it's going to be who competes smart is a lot of times what this comes down to. Who cuts to their full potential and doesn't try to do too much as well. You know, there'll be some people that when the pressure comes down and they try to be a hero or they try to do a little bit too much, and that's when little mistakes can come out, a mishit or a bobble with the saw or a false start. So it's the teams that are going to be competing hard but competing smart that I think you're going to see come out on top.
Competing hard, but competing smart, that might be the secret to success. We're going to invite you all to go to the venue because very soon we're going to start with the competition. Of course, we can see an international crowd here at Club 85. Is that a place that you might join later on for an after-show party?
Club 85 might be somewhere that you could find me after today's competition concludes. I may be known to come in the front door, and I may be known to be on the other side of the stanchions here. This is where the party's at, I think.
So there's one more thing I think we need to talk about, and that is the support of the crowd. Not only being here in France for the French team, but also, let's say, for the Australian team, like that table over there. Can you make yourself heard? Who else is here to support that team? The team of France? Où sont les fans de l'équipe de France? Allez les Bleus? Oh, yeah. Looks to be a lot of support. What about Canada, huh?
Well, the Canadian teams are all at the bar most likely, you know? It's hard to pull them away sometimes.
We don't want to do that. No,
exactly,
we don't.
No. When you want to get through to the appropriate crowd, you know, when you want to get through to the Aussies, you got to give them the Aussie mating call. You know that?
I didn't.
The Aussie mating call is Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. That's how they find each other when they're walking home from the pub.
That's brilliant. I should try to do that. So the atmosphere seems to be bubbling. Everybody seems to be in a great mood. Are you guys ready for the first event of the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS World Championship 2024? That's going to work out fine. And I think that's exactly the support that we also need when we proceed to our TV studio. I'm afraid you won't be able to watch it because you're going to see it live, but maybe tomorrow, or maybe when you get home to see the win of your favorite team.
Absolutely, you know, and I think this French crowd, as we said before, France has put out a very powerful team this year, and it's going to be that French home crowd that hopefully powers them through into the later rounds, and let's see if they can bring home a medal.
Well, we're going to rush to the TV studio. Thank you so much for supporting us. Have a great time here in Toulouse. Have a great time here in Club 85. And for us, it's goodbye.
Shake, you make me go crazy.
What's up, everybody? We getting ready for the start of our show here today. The boys are on their way back down to the studio. They're going to be joining me in a few minutes, and then we're going to get our opening ceremony underway, where you're going to be able to meet all of our athletes that are going to be on stage here today, as well as our first event. And we have a special team that's coming up on the stage today. The first time ever that Team China will be competing with us. So make sure you stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of action coming your way with the team competition here today. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the team competition, it is a format that is very fast moving and very fast paced. It's a relay race going from one discipline to the other and back and forth, 4 disciplines in a row here, and the fastest time wins. And we're going to get into our first round, which is a last chance qualifier for 7 teams that didn't have the top times during the time trials earlier on, but they will definitely be working very, very hard. Now, Team China came in with a time of 1 minute and 33 seconds. That is very respectable for a team that's only been active for the last 3 years, considering they're going up against teams that have had members on them that have been busy with timber sports for more than 20 plus years. So there's a lot to be said for the skill level of the Chinese team that's here, and I think we're going to see a lot of good things from them down the road as they develop and have more opportunities to train and really get a little bit of experience under their belts. It's the first time for them here. So we're very happy to have Team China here today as well. Other teams that are going to be competing in this last chance qualifier, unfortunate, Germany, a very strong team, but that tells you the level of skill by all of the teams here. Germany will be competing in this last chance qualifier. They're going to be going up against Ireland in this one. Ireland also very strong. Czechia normally among the top 12 teams moving on to that first round, or the round of 16. But this time, they just weren't quite fast enough. Norway and the Netherlands and Hungary also in the mix here in this last chance qualifier. So it's going to be interesting to see which of these 7 teams, excuse me, will be the final 4 standing as we head towards our round of 16 and when the actual elimination action gets underway. Make sure you do stay tuned throughout the entire show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have Sterling next to me here along with Floaty in studio, and you're going to get to see and feel all the action right live in about 5 minutes time, just a little bit short of that, and we're going to get going with our opening ceremony, and the boys, like I said, should be arriving in studio any second now. So we hope you guys will stay with us for the entire show. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great action with this trophy format and this relay format with these guys. And hey, look who's arriving in the studio right now. It is none other than Sterling Hart and Marcus Floaty. Float.
You look lonely. Yes.
Black boys, black girls, no? From Poland. La Pologne, ils sont là, en rouge et blanc, in white and red. La Suisse, Switzerland. La Suède, Sweden. Yes. You can make some noise, Sweden. Swedish fans. Please stand up now. Please stand up now. No? No? Okay. You are so shy. I understand. We are in France. People from United States of America. On en a quelques-uns. Fans from Australia. Ok. Et est-ce qu'il y a du monde au soutien de l'équipe de France? Alors, en fait, on ne s'est pas compris, mesdames et messieurs, on ne s'est pas compris. Arrêtez tout, arrêtez tout, arrêtez tout, arrêtez tout. On ne vous a pas entendu. Est-ce qu'il y a du monde au soutien de l'équipe de France? C'est ça, montrez vos drapeaux, people from everywhere. Show your flags, Germany, I don't know, Switzerland, Sweden, Austria. La Bretagne là-haut, oui, c'est ça qu'on veut, mesdames et messieurs. Alors, dans quelques instants, les championnats du monde vont commencer. Il va y avoir une cérémonie Et vous le savez, c'est en direct sur la planète entière, mesdames et messieurs, cette cérémonie. Et il va falloir montrer à la planète entière que vous êtes complètement dingue ici à Toulouse, que vous êtes complètement dingue du bûcheronnage sportif, que vous êtes complètement dingue et que vous voulez passer un super moment. Dans quelques instants, il faudra se lever, il faudra montrer les drapeaux, il faudra crier, il faudra être présent. Juste avant, on fait une petite répétition toutes et tous ensemble, parce qu'il y a 3 ingrédients à connaître. You have to know 3 skills. The first one, le premier, mesdames et messieurs, il est simple. À 3, vous allez applaudir toutes et tous ensemble. At 3, you have to applause. Just applause, okay? 1, 2, 3. That's it. The second skill is really simple. You have to shout. Il va falloir que vous criez le plus fort possible. À 3, on crie ensemble. 1, 2, 3. Yes! Le troisième ingrédient, il est également très simple. Vous utilisez vos mains, vous applaudissez et vous criez tout ça en même temps. The third skill is really simple. You have to shout and you have to clap your hands. Okay? At 3, just make some noise. 1, 2, 3! C'est très bien, mesdames et messieurs, c'est nickel. Je crois que vous êtes carrément prêts. Vous le verrez, vous le verrez, vous le verrez. Vous comprendrez quand il faudra se lever. Il faudra vraiment montrer les drapeaux. Il faudra vraiment crier. Il faudra vraiment être là avec nous et avec toutes les personnes qui vont regarder ça en live partout autour du monde. Juste pour vérifier un truc, est-ce que vous pouvez lever votre main droite en l'air? Can you put your right hand in the air? OK? Est-ce que vous pouvez lever votre main gauche en l'air? OK? The left hand in the air? OK? Est-ce que vous pouvez mettre votre pied droit en l'air? Non, c'était une blague, c'est un joke. Dans une petite minute, mesdames et messieurs, ça va démarrer. Soyez prêtes, soyez prêts. On va démarrer. Vous êtes prêts, Toulouse? Are you ready, Toulouse? Vous êtes sûr? On la refait. Est-ce que vous êtes prêts, Toulouse? Are you ready, Toulouse? The STIHL TIMBERSPORTS will begin in few minutes in front of all of us. You have to be crazy, remember. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? On va commencer, ne vous inquiétez pas. Vous inquiétez pas. On a toujours des supporters de l'équipe de France ou pas? Ok, vous êtes déjà partis. Hein. On a toujours des supporters de l'équipe de France. Wow! Wow! What's happening? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Wow! Qu'est-ce que... Ah, vous avez coupé la lumière. Ah! Je sais ce qui se passe. En fait, on a... Voilà. Ouais, ils chantent la Marseillaise. C'est très bien, les gars. I have to wait. I'm sorry, I have to wait. Il va falloir qu'on rallume la lumière. Allez, on y va, mesdames et messieurs, je suis désolé, on est pressé par le temps. On a un petit problème donc de batterie. C'est dur. C'est bon. Bravo, bravo. Congratulations. Alors, on a un petit problème de batterie. We have a problem of accumulator. Look, I think. Just one green light. Je pense qu'il faut juste qu'on change la batterie pour redémarrer tout ça ensemble. Voilà, on va s'en mettre une là. Voyons. Petite vérification. Little verification. 4 green lights, it's okay. Mesdames et messieurs, on va faire un compte à rebours de 10 à 0. J'ai vraiment besoin de vous. It's time for the countdown from 10 to 0. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 10, 9,
everybody, and welcome back. Still by my side, the one and only Sterling Hart, and somebody new. The man whose analysis are as sharp as a steel axe blade, Mr. Troy Mannering.
Hey, thank you very much, Floaty. Happy to be here. Had a brief moment to say hi to everybody after you guys were racing down here from Club 85. But yeah, we're on and we're ready to go, and it's going to be a fun team competition here tonight.
Well, Sterling, we already had a party. What are we meant to look forward to in this competition?
Well, yeah, I think we got things warmed up over there at Club 85, but you know, every year something is always thrown our way in this team event, this Team World Championship. You know, there's your big powerhouses, but there's always the dark horses coming through, and every single year we have some upsets. So we're looking forward to see what this season might bring us.
And this place, Toulouse, is just tremendously beautiful, and we thought, why not show the rest of the world how beautiful Toulouse is? What an unbelievable city, what a great venue, and of course it's not just us three, but also our field reporter. Yuan, are you ready? Let's go directly to the stage. Hopefully, yeah.
Welcome Toulouse! Bonjour, bonsoir mesdames et messieurs, une nouvelle fois bonsoir à toutes et à tous. Bienvenue ici au Zénith de Toulouse Métropole pour les championnats du monde par équipe STIHL TIMBERSPORTS. One more time, welcome here at the Zénith of Toulouse Métropole. And in few seconds, the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS World Championships 2024 will begin. Are you ready Toulouse? Est-ce que vous êtes prêts Toulouse? But, ladies and gentlemen, before we meet our heroes, let's introduce our wonderful and magic global sports directors. Please join our hands to welcome Spike Milton from Great Britain. You can also applaud Nathan Waterfield from the United States of America. We have also some judges for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud Dr. Rich Hollett from USA. And he's coming from Great Britain, Andrew Hall. Et à présent, mesdames et messieurs, on va faire un tour du côté du centre de compétition, de contrôle, le contrôle de la compétition, parce que les juges seront assistés par des juges arbitres en vidéo. Judges will be assisted by video judges in the competition center control. Merci d'applaudir très fort Radu Kasaku from Romania. Radu! Yes. And please make some noise for Schul Janssen from the Netherlands. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's your moment, because it's time to meet our beautiful team, our amazing team, our heroes for tonight. Mesdames et messieurs, c'est donc parti pour la présentation des équipes de ce STIHL TIMBERSPORTS World Championship 2024. Et nous allons commencer, mesdames et messieurs, par applaudir très fort et par encourager l'équipe d'Autriche. Please make some noise for Austria! ce sont nos voisins, ce sont notre famille, ce sont nos cousins, mesdames et messieurs. Merci de les applaudir très fort. L'équipe de Belgique. Please make some noise for Belgium. 2 fois médaillé d'argent au championnat du monde, mesdames et messieurs. 2-time silver medalist at the World Championships. Please make some noise for Canada! Mesdames et messieurs, il va falloir se lever parce que c'est leur premier championnat du monde. It is the first time for this team, the first time at the World Championships. Please make some noise for China! C'est la meilleure équipe européenne l'année dernière à l'occasion des derniers championnats du monde, mesdames et messieurs. Best European team last year during World Championships. Please make some noise and have a huge welcome for Czech Republic! Vous les connaissez également, ils sont de l'autre côté de la Manche. Merci d'applaudir l'équipe de Grande-Bretagne. Great Britain. And now, mesdames et messieurs, vous allez pouvoir également nous applaudir. Ce sont nos voisins. Give it up for Germany! Du bruit pour l'équipe d'Allemagne! And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet Team Hungary! La Hongrie, mesdames et messieurs! Et à présent, mesdames et messieurs, on va aller faire un tout petit tour dans le nord de l'Europe et nous allons vous inviter à applaudir très fort l'équipe d'Irlande, Team Ireland! Vous les connaissez, vous les aimez bien, mesdames et messieurs, également. Le drapeau vert, blanc, rouge. Applaudissements à l'équipe d'Italie! They were the same colors as steel. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for the Netherlands! Les Pays-Bas! Vous pouvez continuer à faire du bruit, Toulouse, hein? Et on enchaîne, mesdames et messieurs. It's time to meet Team Norway, l'équipe de Norvège. They were 4 times world champions. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for New Zealand. La Nouvelle-Zélande, 4 fois champion du monde, STIHL TIMBERSPORTS. And now, ladies and gentlemen, silver medalist in 2017. Have a huge round of applause for Poland! La Pologne! Et à présent, mesdames et messieurs, ce sont les copains dirigés par un des plus anciens athlètes. Ici, mesdames et messieurs, applaudissements à l'équipe de Suisse, Switzerland. They were gold medalists in Nordic team competition in 2022. Mesdames et messieurs, please make some noise for Sweden! And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 times world silver medalist. Have a huge welcome for United States of America! Les États-Unis d'Amérique! And now, they are the team to beat. They are world champions in 2023. Let's have a look on the gyro screen to meet them. Regardez bien les écrans géants pour la présentation de cette équipe.
And what a team to beat!
I just think we got the best choppers in the world, and the main goal is to bring that gold medal home.
Make some noise for the team of Australia!
And we're all really good at what we do. There's only one goal for the team. We all know what that is, and that's to win.
This is an angry Mitchell Argent going at that block on the second side. Maintains the title of Team World Champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have understood. It's time to meet Team Australia. Et l'équipe d'Australie, mesdames et messieurs, championne du monde en titre. L'équipe à battre cette année ici, dans ce Zénith de Toulouse. Et à présent, mesdames et messieurs, il est temps de rencontrer cette équipe qui accueille les championnats du monde ici, à Toulouse. Mais avant ça, regardez bien les écrans géants. On se retrouve dans quelques secondes.
We're going to start with heat number 1, France against the local team judge. Alexander Maurice, who we've been watching for a little while, who's really stepped up to the next level. So always concentrated, always ready to go, and here Barret.
We've got the World Championships coming up in Toulouse. I've just got a bit of a feel for that. Please take a closer look at what's coming up now.
They've got Louis Poisson. He's a fantastic young athlete. by Underhand Chop. Oh, just by maybe one driver on the Underhand Chop. It's very, very close. It's going to be closer between these two teams. Which team they go? It's to 12:47, and it was just half a drive, one drive behind.
Et le team de Zénith, debout tous et tous, pour la présentation de votre équipe, mesdames et messieurs, l'équipe de France! On vous a pas entendu, Toulouse. On vous a pas entendu, Toulouse. L'équipe de France! Allez, mesdames et messieurs, on va vous inviter à bien vouloir vous mettre debout afin de respecter l'hymne national du pays hôte, à savoir la France. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up if you are able to respect the national anthem of the host team, the national anthem of France. Mesdames et messieurs, la Marseillaise. Merci mesdames et messieurs, merci à toutes et à tous. Thank you everybody. And now it's time to go back to the studio. Flotti, it's your turn.
What an opening, huh? How good was that?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Those teams, 19 teams on stage. Especially interesting to see how China's going to do in this last chance qualifier that's coming up. You guys talked about it earlier on in some of the Instagram feeds you were doing. What are your thoughts on that? Because
Vous étiez en train de nous faire un aller les bleus tout.
You know, for their first time being here on stage, they've been a team for less than 3 years. Like 2.5 years they've been training in this. They've even been introduced to this sport. So for them to put up a minute 33 in their very first time on stage, like that's amazing. They've already exceeded expectations. So anything from here on out is just gravy for them. So it's.
So I guess we say in French, bon chance to Team China. And the rest of the teams, of course, we have 7 teams coming up in this last chance qualifier, right, Floaty?
That's absolutely right. And how the format works, well, we show you right now.
The STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Team World Championship format. In the team competition, teams of 4 each have to compete in a 4-discipline relay. The order of the disciplines during the team heat is as follows. First up, stock saw, followed by underhand chop, then single buck, and finally standing block chop. Each discipline is executed by a separate team member, and the subsequent discipline can only be started after the previous discipline has been completed. The overall time for a team only counts after finishing the last discipline. Starting a discipline too early will result in a 15-second time penalty. The team competition demands the utmost concentration, endurance, and precision, and the teams have to plan their efforts strategically over the course of the rounds. First, they have to show their skills in a time trial. Only the top 12 teams from the time trial will make it directly to the round of 16. The remaining slower teams from the time trial are relegated to the last chance round. In this round, they need to complete one heat, and only the 4 fastest teams from the last chance round advance to the round of 16. The rest are eliminated from competition. In the round of 16, the knockout phase of the competition begins. Here, the fastest teams from the time trial will face the slower teams in reverse order. The teams now continue to compete in the knockout system through the quarterfinals and semifinals. The losers of the semifinals will fight for the bronze medal in the small final. After this, the top 2 teams will compete one more time to see who takes the Team World Championship title.
Well, this is how it works, and of course we want to know how the time trial went, because that tells us who's going to compete against who in the head-to-head. So let's take a look at that.
Or not, maybe.
Stay with us.
Here we go.
So there we have the Team Australia. That is not a big surprise, being the fastest team. Seasonal best, that's not too bad, is it?
No, not at all.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but they were only 1 second short of having the world record as well. 45.10 is the world record, and there's rumor that that may fall this weekend, so we'll keep a close eye on that.
Absolutely. China with a personal best, of course, it being the first time they were on stage at a World Championship. And here we have the complete ranking showing us the round of 16. And of course, like Troy mentioned before, the last chance heats. So China will compete against Norway, Germany against the Netherlands, Ireland against Hungary, and Czechia will have to go all by themselves. It is about the fastest time, guys, now before we go into the knockout rounds.
Correct. Yeah. And that's a tough position for Team China to be in as well, right, Sterling? Because they're on stage all by themselves, so they don't have that adrenaline of another team pushing them along. So they really have to work as a team and push themselves as much as they possibly can here, correct?
Yeah, exactly. You know, and we saw that in the qualifying runs this morning, actually, with, you know, Team Sweden ended up having to run alone and also in the first heat. So you don't have somebody pushing you across from the stage, plus you also haven't had the chance to watch how the other teams are performing and how the wood draw is going to come out for you. You know, that's a huge factor that doesn't always get talked about in this competition, is the natural factor of the timber that they're cutting. So, you know, Team China here is they got a wall in front of them to get through, you know?
They do indeed. And that said, we're going to have the teams on stage shortly. Just really quickly, we'll get the start list up, and then we'll get Team China out there to try and push through that wall, hopefully, and have a good time. And maybe we'll see them in the round of 16. I'm going to cross my fingers for them, because it would be nice to have them be there in their first time out. All right, there you see their last chance qualifier. China, Germany goes up against Ireland, Czechia, Norway, Netherlands, Hungary. And as Floaty mentioned, this is all about the times here to be able to qualify and get into that round of 16. So again, we're not head-to-head heats just yet. That's coming in the round of 16. And our first team coming up on stage will be Team China. And again, their first time ever. That is quite an accomplishment, being together 2.5, 3 years.
Being able to compete in front of that crowd, that must be something very, very special. We can already hear the source, so it looks like we're not far away from the very first heat here at the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Team World Championship 2024.
We got tours going by the front of our studio here.
Love
People
that.
out there taking pictures. I feel like a zoo animal all of a sudden.
Because you are, Troy.
Okay, fair enough. But we're not talking about smell here, okay?
Well, I hope everybody in the stadium is having a time as good as we are having here. Sterling, this is your first time next to Troy and me. Are you still all right? Is it okay?
Loaded question.
I'm just doing as I'm told, you know. I'm just waiting here. You need my opinion, I'm happy to volunteer it. You know, every athlete right now, as soon as they hear those stock saws starting to be warmed up, That's when the goosebumps, that's when the nerves really set in, because it's happening. You know, it's not, you've been sitting here thinking about it. Some of these athletes for 364 years, since they're 364 days, pardon me, since the last time they were on stage, and now it's time to go, lay it all out on the deck.
It's not just the athletes getting the goosebumps either, right? We've got that in studio every time we sit here, whether it be a world trophy, a world championship, or a national championship. It's so exciting to see these guys get up on stage and do their thing, because they really are the best of the best. And this is one of the reasons why we're here at the World Championships, to determine who is going to be the world's best team in timber sports for 2024. So let's get these Chinese guys on stage and see how they perform under the pressure of being out there alone and knowing that they've got to try and get the best possible time to get into that round of 16.
So Troy, Sterling, you two being the experts, let's hear who's going to be on stage for China tonight.
Let me see if I can pull this one off. Okay, so we have Yi Jai-wan, Bao Liu, they call him Baby Liu, Peng Shen Zhao, and Qi Wang. I hope I said those right. I'm always good for butchering names, and in this particular case, probably worse than before.
A for effort.
I look at the smiles in their faces. It's really nice talking to them backstage. They're all very, very excited, but taking this very seriously. I mean, they've got a great coach, haven't they, Sterling?
They do, yeah. They have several times Australian champion Glenn Gillam. You've seen him here on stage competing for Team Australia. So he's kind of taken himself out of the running for Still Australia, and he has been their coach for the past 2.5 years, traveling back and forth to China multiple times. They're based just out of Shanghai. Not an easy trip, 10 hours from Australia. He'll fly out on the Thursday, train with them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and fly back to work on Monday.
Wow.
And he's done it, yeah, week in, week out, and this is the fruits of his labor. So he's kind of the proud papa watching his butterflies take flight here.
Good way to accumulate some air miles, as well as get a little bit of that good feeling under your belt with this team.
Warm up your saw. Athlete ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, last chance qualifier underway here for China on the stock saw, getting into it right away. Got to be careful of too much pressure on that saw, not to stall it out. Heading over to the underhand chop right now. A little bit of a sticky axe there as they're working hard to get that block cut through. Over to the other side. That was a nice transition over to the other side, and getting plenty of support from the French crowd here. Love to see that. Excellent results. Every driver, it's always the same in France. Every driver is a scream from the audience, and he is through. Over to the single buck now. This is looking good. Oh, a little bit of a sticky saw there on that 2-meter-long crosscut saw as they're just approaching the 50-second mark. This could be a very good time. It might even be better than their time trial time. And I do believe it is Baby Liu that's going to be on standing block here. Now they stopped the clock a little bit too early, so somebody pushed the button ahead of time. Over to the other side of the block now. He's got pace here, Sterling. He's really hitting hard and quick.
He's putting everything into it. He might be a little bit short on that front side, so hopefully his team members, you see them in the background yelling encouragement to him. They're going to want to be telling him to maybe come up one more time to get that to come off.
Yeah, this is gumption and guts right now to try and get through that block.
Oh, the crowd is loving it.
He can't come up again now. You're committed now. Here we go. He's broke it in the near.
Almost there. One more driver, maybe 2 or 3. He's got a little bit too much material there, like you said, too short on that first side, and now trying to get through on that second side, getting plenty of encouragement from the crowd
Two
here.
more. 1, 2.
Oh, he's got some sawdust coming out of there.
Should have taken the over.
Yeah.
All right, so they stopped the clock early at 57 seconds, and I believe that they're going to have to go down to the competition control center to get that final count. But you could see there was a lot of work going on there, and we'll get real deep insights from Sterling as we go back to the review here, but we'll head down to the decision zone for our Team China and hear what Rich Hallett has to say. Looks good for them, though, for the moment.
All right, gentlemen. Unfortunately, you went beyond the time limit. DQ.
Disqualification going beyond the time limit. That's a bummer because they did have a very good time during their time trial. So that's done and dusted for Team China, but good showing for them in general.
Absolutely, you know, they had that brilliant qualifying time this morning of 1:33, so they know that they're there. As we watch the replay here, Stock Saw Man did his job, you know, nice, calm, cool, under control. The Stock Saw is always known as the event that you're not going to be the hero, but for lack of a better term, and it rhymes, you can be the zero. You know, you can DQ your team very quickly here with a false start, cutting over the line, cutting out. It's probably the most nerve-wracking of the 4 events that you have to do once you're up on stage. And our competitor here did an awesome job. Came off nice and clean. They had a great transition over to the underhand. You see the chip coming out there already. And, you know, I think this is one of their top axemen. He did a great job, put a great front in. It came off nice. Over to the single saw. So we see that coming in half there beautifully.
A couple of sticky hits on the single saw there, but he did get it going, and this is really a crucial one for, as well.
Exactly, and I mean, you can see, I can tell just by looking at his arms and the veins in his neck. It's something, oh, and we're back to the standing block.
Talk about shortcut. Yeah.
Absolutely, you know, but he's going to have a year to think about that, so he can either use that cut right there as fuel.
Donc on est avec Glenn Gillam, l'entraîneur de cette équipe de Chine. We are here with Glenn Gillam and the team China. Vous pouvez encore les applaudir. One more time, make some noise for China. So Glenn, you are the trainer of this amazing team. What do you want to say to your boys? Because it's the first time for them during the World Championship. What do you want to say to them?
Welcome to TIMBERSPORTS.
Ok, bienvenue donc à TIMBERSPORTS. No, did you accept this result? Do you want to have a best result? I don't know. What did you accept for your team?
The expectations for the team were to come here, participate, and do the best they can for the very first time on a global stage. Wow, Team China, I applaud you.
Vous l'avez compris, mesdames et messieurs, le but du jeu, c'était tout simplement de faire ce premier championnat du monde, d'être présent, de passer du bon temps avec vous et surtout de présenter cette équipe de Chine à vous toutes et tous. Can we expect from you for the next World Championship? Yes?
I don't think it is in China's genes or heritage to give up so easy, so they'll be back.
Ok, ils reviendront, mesdames et messieurs. Applaudissements encore à cette équipe de Chine. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. They're wonderful.
All right, so that is Team China exiting the arena. What a great start for them. Fantastic results, even though in this last chance qualifier they did get disqualified. But as you mentioned, Sterling, they really showed well in the time trial. As we move on to our next last chance heat with Team Germany going up against Team Ireland. And again, we have to remind the folks out there, this is not an elimination. This is about getting the fastest time possible, with Team Germany tail of the tape definitely having the advantage over Team Ireland.
It's all about being part of the last 16. Oh, look at the focus. The crowd really loving it.
All right, teams getting set up. Now that's the first time I've ever seen anybody mark a block like that. Why is that happening, Sterling?
So that line that you just saw Peter Bauer of Germany draw on his stock saw block, that is the mark for typically the guy that is on the standing block. He tells the underhand cutter when to go. So when he sees the saw hit that line, he knows that the underhand guy has just enough time to wind up and hit the block to make the most efficient transition they can. So that's the reason you're seeing that line drawn on there.
Could be a good thing, could go so pear-shaped if he has a sticky hit there and our underhand chopper is already winding up and gets a false start.
Yeah, typically the transition from the stock saw to the underhand is your safest bet. It's where you're going to pick up time because the stock saw is going to come through even.
Warm up your saws.
When you get from the underhand to the single saw and the single saw to the standing block.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, starting off for Team Germany, a little bit of a hang there. Oh, when he got that line on the way down, Peter Bauer may have caused problems for Germany. Meanwhile, I hope I say this name, Dara Kloer for Team Ireland through nice and clean and sends it over to Gavin Thompson, while Danny Fielwert for Germany on the underhand moves over to the second side, about 1.5 to 2 strokes ahead of Gavin Thompson. Gavin Thompson working on second side now. Danny Fielwert looking very nice with some clean cuts there, and he is through, and he'll move that over now to Christoph Lang, who's got a really good flow going on that single saw already. Thompson through, and now Seamus Ryan has his single saw moving, but it looks like the advantage definitely goes to the Germans, with Christoph Lang getting through there and moves it over to Marcel Steinkemper, the big man on the standing block chop, as he gets working on that final piece of equipment. Lost my headspace there for a second. Marcel, very, very strong, powerful hitter. Patrick Fitzpatrick now on the standing. But boy, look at that. Germany through in 105.08. Not their fastest time. Ireland trying to get through. Patrick Fitzpatrick moving over to that other side. He was a bit gingerly about that movement over to the second side. Now he really needs to get working because he wants to make sure that he gets this done in under 2 minutes, I believe, is the time limit, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. They should be in well underneath, but as we saw in the first last chance race with Team China, you can get into trouble real quick here, but looks like they're going to be in just under that time limit.
One final driver, it pops off at 1:35.90, so a decent time for Team Germany. Not their fastest time. They have clock times under a minute with 59 and change, 56, excuse me, and change. Ireland's fastest time is a 1:32.88, so they were a little bit over their personal best there, and I don't see, oh, there is a flag on the play. What side was that on? Was that on Team Germany's side? No, that's on the side of Ireland. So I thought maybe Peter Bauer cut over the line on that stock saw right at the start, and you did say the stock saw is a very nerve-wracking one. Let's see what the Judge Rich Hallett has to say here.
Okay, unfortunately, Ireland, incomplete disc on the stock saw, 15-second penalty. Germany, your cut was good.
Wow, I thought for sure that Peter Bauer went over the line, but 15-second penalty for Ireland, incomplete cookie on the stock saw. So that's an unfortunate situation for Team Ireland. That's going to add to their time and bring them up to 1:50.55. It's still a time that counts, so it's not a DQ. And they'll be hoping against all hope that the other teams will be slower than. Let's see here.
Absolutely. That's not quite what you're looking for when you're in the round called last chance. And it is, as its name states, this is, you got to lay everything out on the deck. As we see, and like we said, we thought Peter Bauer might have been a bit close to that line, but we can obviously see it as well as the judges can. And yeah, you see Ireland, this is where they started to fall behind a little bit. As you see him power through the underhand here for Germany. And I believe he actually had a little bit of a hang-up here if we watch the Germans where his hand, oh, we're going to skip that. And we're going to take him right over to the standing block. This is good.
That's a great perspective, by the way.
Yeah, I love that under the block camera. It's so fun to watch.
As we see some of the final drives here from Marcel, the,
nice.
The anchor as it was. Beautiful cut. making the most out of that block and did everything he could to put his team in position to move ahead into the next rounds.
I loved how that little last block popped up and off for Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it's not ideally what you want to see. What that means is his cuts didn't line up quite how we wanted them to, but you know, when the race is on, you do everything you can to try and bring your team ahead as we move into our next heat here.
All right, next heat, last chance, heat number 3. This one has Czechia going up against Norway, and again, tail of the tape has Czechia, who were very good in the last seasons as the team with the advantage here, but Norway's motivated. They've got some good training under their belts, and they've got some very strong timber sports athletes out on stage right now, Sterling.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you know, this is whatever the best time is, so these teams aren't actually competing head-to-head to see who goes ahead, but it is to Norway's advantage being matched up against this powerhouse Czech team who, you know, traditionally we don't actually see them here down in this last chance bracket, but I believe they did have a penalty assessed against them in the qualifying for, I believe it was an incomplete disc on the stock saw, as I was talking to them backstage. So that's what's bumped them down. So they're kind of they're a bracket breaker, you know, because they're stronger than what their qualification represents. So that's going to be a problem for people coming into those next rounds if the Czech team does manage to make it out of this last chance.
Couple of practice swings there by Bjorn Sonsteby from Norway. And we can see on the underhand chop, Simon Jenis Buras. I hope I said that name right. I'll just stick with Buras. Here we go.
Warm up response.
Maciej Klima going to be hitting the underhand chop for Czechia. Martin Kalina on single buck. Keep an eye on him. He's a real big guy. Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
So stocks off for Czechia. Tomáš Fogsdal, Gerhard Sorensen, Fugem for Norway. And moving over, underhand chop looking very good already for Czechia as they've gotten that transition quick, and Norway struggling on that stock saw. I don't know what happened there. A stall or something, no idea. I didn't see, but right now, Maciej Klima on that second side, and he should be through any second now and send that over to Martin Kalina, which he does on the single saw. And now Martin Kalina, a big, strong man. Look at the quick pace here, using the entire length of that saw with speed. Martin Kalina is doing a very good job here on that single saw, and they're going to send that one over to the standing block chop. And we may see the best time for Czechia here today. They're going to need it, though, if they want to get into that next round, which I'm fairly positive they'll do here as they approach the 1 minute mark on the standing block chop. Meanwhile, Norway still trying to get through that underhand chop with Simon Jensens Buras cutting hard. But on the standing block for Czechia, they're almost through, but their time is running away on them. 107.44, a little bit slower than Germany, puts them in second in the last chance qualifier. That was a nail biter at the end there as Norway moves over to their single saw with Bart Gievers. He was quick through there, and now Bjorn Sonsteby is going to try and maintain a little bit of dignity for the Norwegian side and get through there in under 2 minutes. And he's got a nice clean cut on that first side, nice and open face. So that should bode well for him to get through there. He's got 20 seconds to go to get through this block, and I think he should be able to do it, Sterling, hey?
Absolutely. Vebjorn here, typically the anchor, and he went to try and make up some time for his team there. So he tried to shortcut it a little bit, and you know, that's exactly why we saw him hang up there at the end, those few sticky hits. You know, as your team starts to fall behind, you want to do everything you can within your power to try and bring them back and give yourselves a chance to move forward there.
All right, with a time of 1:47.06, just shy of the 2 minute mark there. Norway sits in third, just behind Czechia. Germany atop the leaderboard in this last chance qualifier, and nobody's really overly impressed today in this last chance qualifier, so probably a reason why they're there.
Both cuts are good.
All right.
That's what we love to hear.
That's what we love to hear, absolutely. This is something else I've noticed as well in the back lots in the paddocks here. Sterling, is there's not really a lot of animosity between the athletes. They're always helping each other with their axes, with the blocks, with the setup of their equipment. Athletes will sometimes borrow a hot saw or something like that during the individuals. It's a very family-oriented situation.
Absolutely. I mean, you also see that right there after the event is over. It's a little bit different when you're walking out there. And it does depend who's across the stage from you there. So, yeah, you know, Martin Kalina really powered through the Czech team here. He wanted it. He forgave all oxygen in that event, it looked like, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Norway had a bit of an uncharacteristic slow start there. I didn't actually get a chance to see what happened on the single saw, or on the stock saw, pardon me. But the single saw here, a good cut.
Yeah, it was a really good cut from Zoltán Andráska. Excuse me, that's Hungary.
Zdeněk Maras.
Yeah, the Zdeněk Maras. And there's Bjorn with that final hit.
Absolutely. He's not going to be overly impressed with himself on that, but, you know, you got to go for it. When you're behind the 8-ball and you want to move on, you got to let it all hang out.
That's a final heat, boys.
Final heat, and we're going to see right now Germany, Czechia, Norway, and Ireland are in the mix. The Netherlands and Hungary, both of them having times of over a minute. So the Netherlands is really under the gun here to try and do something, especially for Redmar Knoll, who has made big steps in the last 2 seasons to place himself among the top athletes in the world. So he's really the guy that's pushing this team along.
Absolutely, you know, and you always put your top athletes typically in those chopping events. You know, the stock saw is always going to be between 7 to 9 seconds. The single saw, you know, you're going to be anywhere between 9.5 up to 14, 15 seconds, but it's the chopping that's really going to make or break your team. So you will typically see the strongest athletes from each country on those disciplines looking to make up the most time possible.
Warm up your saws. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, as we see the Netherlands take it on Hungary in this last round of the last chance event here. We see Netherlands coming off just ahead with Redmar Knoll on the underhand, taking on Ben Strubel. Redmar Knoll, probably the strongest cutter in this team. You're going to see him making the turn first, around to the backside. He's chose to go with the slow, hard hits, and that's going to favor him on this. The wood not coming out quite as soft as they would have thought, but look at Hungary. Look at Hungary coming off at the same time, ahead of the Netherlands, pulling ahead. What we might have here is one of those upsets that we talked about earlier on as Hungary pulls ahead at this point. We'll see if Rick van Drielen, the former Dutch champion, can make up some time here, but it's looking pretty close. And there it is, dead even at this point. It's going to come down to Martin Hans and Zoltán Andráska, who's going to take this round out. Both these teams are looking to make their way through to the next round, so we're going to see who can handle the pressure on this and who can't. Martin looks like he's broken an axe. He's had to go back and grab another axe as the advantage has now gone to Hungary. Couple up again, and Martin's going to be looking to go for the drive here. Dead even at this point. Both guys, it's looking like that. Oh, but Hungary coming off ahead of the Netherlands. There's your first upset of the day.
119.19 to 119.02. How close was that? Unbelievable. Bit of a technical problem in here, so we're kind of scrambling to get our system worked out.
But we do have a flag.
Oh, no. And I believe it's on the Netherlands side as well.
I believe so. So we're going to have a look at that here shortly.
So let's see what our judge Rich Hallett has to say when they head down to the decision zone. Unfortunately, we're not hearing any of that stuff right now, but we will hopefully see that in the graphic as well if there was indeed a DQ or a time penalty.
Okay, Netherlands, 15-second penalty. Single bucker went before underhand was finished. Hungary, your cut was good.
So there is a time penalty for the Netherlands, but we unfortunately didn't get to hear what that time penalty was here in our studio. And we'll get a quick review of that and give you the breakdown of, maybe we can actually see it during the heat here in review.
My best guess is either going to be a cut line or a jumped gun. Typically in these teams races, that's where we see these infractions made. But on Hungary's side, great cut on the stalk saw.
Nice and thin.
Maybe we can have a look here and see that. You know, it's hard to tell from that angle if that was the stalk saw or not. These,
yeah, it looks like some blue line came down with that disc.
It did, but you know, Redmer was very quick on the wood. So that could have been an infraction between the two. And this is where you saw the tides turn here. As you see Hungary actually come off a few seconds ahead of Netherlands, which I would have never picked before that. Making it super easy to commentate this. Look at the face. That's determination.
Yeah,
that's
right
wanting
there.
it. That's knowing that you should have probably put one more up hit in. But as the male ego goes, I have made my bed. I shall now lie in it.
So now I can see it looks like he's using a chisel axe. Would it have been better for him to maybe choose a banana blade?
It would have been better if he had just come up again. Yeah. As he says to himself, I am happy with this. Sometimes it's hard to know what the emotion is coming out. No such incident on this one, Zoltán Andraska. Clearly Hungary very, very happy with their performance in that. Is it going to be enough to make them come through to that next round? Good to see everybody again.
Hey, everybody. I don't know if you're able to hear us or not. Our system's gone down completely here. We're using the extra handheld mic, so hopefully we'll get things rolling again, and we really hope that you can hear what we're saying. And I don't know, I mean, Floaty's out of the situation altogether here, so he's going to quit and just go and have a beer in the bar. And
I think he's heading to Club 85 is where he's going. Absolutely.
Speaking of Club 85, we should also mention that next year is going to be the 40th anniversary of STIHL, so that's a big deal, which is also the reason why Club 85. So, I mean, it's a VIP club, but I got to tell you, it's sounding kind of interesting. I might go and hop over the ropes with you later on.
You probably wouldn't like it. No, he wouldn't like it. He wouldn't like it. No, it's more for, it's kind of a redhead thing.
Yeah. A redhead thing, hey? Yeah, so it's only for the gingers out there.
Yeah, you know, as you were saying, it will be 40 years of STIHL Timbersports next year, and the following year will actually be 100 years of STIHL.
Wow.
100 years that STIHL has been in business.
That's mad.
That's going to be a good party.
That is going to be a good party. All right, so here is the breakdown of our last chance rankings. Germany pulling out the top speed there with 104.82. Czechia with a 107.44, followed by Hungary and the Netherlands. So those four teams will be jumping into the round of 16. Unfortunately for Norway, Ireland, and China, they just weren't fast enough. And of course, we have to give kudos to China for doing such a great job today for their first ever World Championship competition.
Absolutely. You know, that's got to be one of the highlights here. Oh, elf on the shelf. Get out of here. Yeah.
All right, it looks like we may be getting our system back here shortly, so still popping and locking.
As we see how the bracket is broken down here, with you get the nice visual as we start to see the heats that will be coming up. Austria taking on Italy in that first heat, followed by Sweden taking on Switzerland, Poland taking on Great Britain, France taking on Belgium, Australia and the Netherlands, and so on and so forth, as you could see on the screen.
Yep, ever so briefly. We should also point out now is elimination time. So when a team wins a heat, barring any flag on the play, that team will automatically move to the next round, and the team that loses the heat will be eliminated from competition.
Absolutely, and as we take a look at the graphic here, you can see, you know, there's some heavy favorites and then not so much. But you're going to see some of those middle rankings there.
All right, Austria up against Italy to start things off with, and both of these teams pretty evenly matched up as a tale of the tape goes, 102.69 to 102.80, so it's about as close as it's going to get if you're looking at personal bests.
Absolutely, it's win or go home at this stage, you know, and that's where experience is going to play a big key, especially as we get into those. It all ultimately comes down to that standing block chop, you know, the guys in the standing block knowing if they need to go for it or if they need to put in a safe cut and they can get their team through to the next round.
All right, for Austria, we're going to see him and Heiligerbrunner out there along with Gunther Dahlinger, Josef Laya with the best mustache in the business, and Armin Kugler, the perennial Austrian champion. For the Italian side, Alessandro Ciapponi is going to be cutting on stock, Miki Perrin on the underhand, Andrea Rossi on single buck, and Michel Delpine on the standings. So it should be a good battle between two teams that we've seen go head-to-head with each other many times in the past.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, it's a good start with Alessandro Ciapponi picking that saw up quickly. Heiligerbrunner on the Austrian side looking like he's going to have a good cut, but it is a great quick cut by Alessandro Ciapponi, and they both move over to the underhand chop fairly quickly. Gunther Dahlinger for the Austrian side, Miki Perrin for the Italians. He switches over to the second side of his block as Josef Laya, you can see him there. He is primed and ready to go. Gunther Dahlinger on the second side, chipping out nicely. Who's going to get through that block first? Is it going to be Miki Perrin? It is. And boy, that was quick. That was very close. You can see how tightly contested this one is between these two teams. Over to Andrea Rossi for the Italians, Josef Laya for the Austrians. Oh, a big hookup by Rossi as he, they both drop a cookie at the same time almost. And now it's Armin Kugler going up against Michel Delpine. Armin Kugler so strong in this discipline. He hammers that block out and he moves over to the second side at pretty much the same time as Michel Delpine. They're both on their second side. Who's got the power to get through there first? Is it going to be Austria or it's going to be Italy? It's going to be a close one. It looks like it might be Italy. No! It's going to be Austria. Ever so close with two drivers to go for Italy. And it was almost there for Michel Delpine. I think he thought he might have had that one with one extra driver, and he just overestimated how much wood was still there. Unbelievable heat, though, between two fantastically close teams. So big applause from the audience for Italy there. Alessandro Ciapponi, Michel Perrin, Andrea Rossi, and Michel Delpine. And there is some looking,
So what needs to happen in this instance? There needs to be evidence of a complete cut. So what those judges are trying to do right now is they're trying to put that stock saw cookie back together. If they can find all the pieces of the puzzle and put Humpty Dumpty back together, they won't have to assess it a penalty to Team Austria. So we will hear from Judge Rich Hallett right now if that's going to play out in Austria's favor.
I kind of think it was okay, though, because it looked like there was a very thin edge that was still complete, but we'll see what Rich Hallett says after the handshakes are done and dusted here for these boys.
All right, gentlemen. After examining the stock saw disc over here, we determined that the cut was good, the disc is complete. Winner is Austria.
Wow, they just got by that one to the hair of their chinny chin chin, so Austria wins it, and that penalty did not get pulled, so that's a good thing for them. And we'll take a look at the review here, and maybe we can see on the Austrian side what happened with Hermann Heiligebrunner as he made that first cut.
Absolutely, as we'll get a chance to look back over these replays. And you know, I'm really hoping what we do focus in on is that last standing block, because that is what it ultimately came down to. This was a dead even race all the way through. As you see, stock saws come off within fractions of a second of each other. And we know after watching the event live, the underhand cutters both came off nearly dead even as well. Same with the single saw. And now what I want people to focus in on, whereas hopefully we get to see this on the standing block, both competitors were dead even through the first half of their block. Once they got around to the back side, you did see the Italian standing block cutter possibly should have come up one more time. He had got it in his head that this was going to come off. You know, he went for a hero cut, whereas, you know, the veteran and Austrian champion there, Armin Kugler, he cut a smart cut. And that was the difference in that heat, and that's what ultimately that experience brought it home for them.
And it really was the experience that made the difference here in that case. I think you're absolutely correct. As Michel Delpine had, like you say, that hero cut. He wanted that hero cut. I love that, too. I'm going to use that from now on, the hero cut at the end. Because you could see it. You could see it. He really wanted it. All right, next heat coming up in this round of 16. Sweden going up against Switzerland. Interestingly, Sweden has a slower personal best time than Switzerland, but not by a lot. So Switzerland with the advantage by tail of the tape here. And I know I talk about the tail of the tape a lot because once you get to competition, it doesn't really count for anything. But it's interesting to note that Switzerland has had the better times traditionally in the team competition.
Yeah, absolutely. But it should be noted, these personal best times, this is over the last 10, 15 years that we've been doing this event, right? So it's not always the same team every year. You've got to earn the right to be on your national team each year. So it depends what team has been put forth. And, you know, I would probably give, in theory, I would give the slight edge to Sweden here, just looking at the tail of the tape on the lineup and who's chopping. But, you know, as we've seen, anything can happen up on that stage here.
And that is the truth, as we have a very, very strong side on both of these teams, actually. Pontus Schier, Ferry Swan, Kalle Svadling, and Emil Hansen for the Swedish side. Severin Bühler, Christoph Geisler, Pirmin Gnedinger, and Olli Reinhardt for the Swiss side. Olli, one of those up-and-coming young athletes who's just been 2 years, I believe, or maybe now he's in his third season as a pro. Ferry Swan was the rookie world champion a few years back, and he's had his struggles in the last little while, but he has come back strong, and he will be representing Sweden in the individual world championship tomorrow as the athletes come out on stage. You will see Ferry Swan out there on the underhand chop. We have Emil Hansen on standing block. He is going to be the anchor here. And Pontus Schier will be starting things off on stock saw, and Kalle Svadling over there on the single saw. For the Swiss side, Severin Bühler will be starting things off with stock saw. Christoph Geisler, who is the oldest competitor here in the competition with 50 years old. That's fantastic. Makes me feel like I might be able to do this still. There he is. Personal best Team World Championship, 59.48 for Switzerland, so that's great. Pirmin Gnedinger as well up there on the single buck, and Olli Reinhardt going to be closing things off for Team Switzerland on the standing block, which is a discipline that he is incredibly strong on.
Absolutely, and I look to Sweden to possibly get out ahead of this. Ferry Swan cutting some of the best underhands that we've ever seen out of Europe. But Christoph Geisler is the one that helped build this Swiss program to what it is today. So never count the veteran out.
Yeah, and he is absolutely still in the mix. Absolutely.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, so here we go. Stock saw underway for both of these teams. Looking good for Severin Bühler over there as both these teams drop their cookies at roughly the same time. And there you see exactly what we were talking about with Ferry Swan. The speed and the frequency at which he is driving those hits into the block is insane.
Christoph Geisler over to the second side, but about 4 hits behind Ferry Swan as he gets through that block in no time flat and heads it over to Kalle Svadling on the single buck. Meanwhile, Christoph Geisler getting on the sticky side of his block and gives it to Pirmin Gneninga, who is very quick on the single saw. But Sweden is so far ahead at this point, it's going to take a miracle for Switzerland to catch up as Emil Hansen starts working on the standing block. That looked like a bit of a shortcut on that first side. We'll see if that really bodes any kind of problems for Sweden as they move on to that second side. No! Look at that! A personal best for Sweden at 55-12 unofficially. Dying over here. Ollie Reinhardt on the second side. That was a quick cut for Ollie, though. I mean, had they been in that a little bit sooner, getting to that standing block, it might have been a closer heat.
Absolutely, and you know, we saw the experience there of Ferry Swan, although one of the youngest competitors in the field, also one of the most experienced on the team. You know, he's been on this world stage many times, as we will, I don't see any flags on the play, so we will just get the final call here from Judge Rich Hallett.
And what a great job by Sweden as well to get under the minute mark at 54.98. Good.
And the winner is Sweden.
And that's the time that we were looking to get out of Sweden in the qualifying. And I think that's what they expected out of themselves. So, you know, this happens every year. But if you don't cut to your potential in that qualifying, Sweden knows they've got an uphill battle if they want to push into the later rounds. But that's a great start for them, getting past Switzerland. And they know they still got a little bit of work to do as they go into the next rounds.
Tough heat as well, considering that Switzerland's had the fastest times in the past, but your prediction was absolutely on point, Sterling. So let's take a look back.
And again, as we've talked about, you're not able to necessarily win it for your country in this, but you can definitely lose it on the stalk saw. So they're happy to get through that as we see Ferry. Now, what I have noticed in all of these heats is the wood is actually coming out a little bit firmer than I think a lot of the athletes were prepared for. When you see that white wood in there, that, you know, Ferry, it took a couple extra drives for him to come off. And although they got away with it in this round, they're going to want to be aware of that, move it in further, as Emil Hansen came out like a man possessed. He wanted that. That's redemption for their qualifying heat. A great cut from Team Sweden.
Well, last driver from Ollie Reinhardt as well. You could see what we're looking at for the future of Switzerland there in that young man as well.
Absolutely, one of Switzerland's brightest young stars there.
Suisse qui a malheureusement perdu ce hit. Christophe, toi qui as une certaine habitude des championnats du monde du style Timbersport, qu'est-ce qui a manqué? Est-ce que le bois était trop dur? Est-ce qu'il y a eu une problématique particulière à l'occasion de ce hit?
Ouais, ben là, c'est sûr. De toute façon, sur la discipline horizontale, ça s'est pas très bien passé. Au pass, on a vu que ça allait pas. C'était pas non plus génial. Après, Oli fait du bon boulot derrière, du bon boulot à la stock. Donc voilà, ça peut pas non plus tout le temps aller comme il faut.
It was a little bit complicated against all I don't remember the name. All elements on the stage. Je vais poser une question à ton collègue là. Est-ce que tu peux nous faire un petit mot sur le public là, le public de Toulouse, comment tu le trouves?
Oh, c'est génial, génialement. Quand j'ai écouté la Marseillaise, ça me montait mes cheveux.
The crowd is just amazing. He heard for the Marseillaise from the French anthem, and it was just crazy. Thank you very much. Bravo, mesdames et messieurs. Et vous pouvez encore applaudir l'équipe de Suisse, mesdames et messieurs. Bravo.
All right, so we're still dealing with some technical difficulties here, folks, and we're going to try and get this thing sorted out as soon as possible.
And I've got something for you guys, and I'm sure everybody at home is going to like this as well, because we have a Ferry Swan documentary.
Ooh, right.
And that's a teaser for you.
Det är som en gladiator. Det är jäkligt häftigt det här. Ferry älskar ju att tävla. Han har ju varit tävlingsmänniska sedan han var 3 år typ.
Hur mycket vill du vinna det här?
Jag heter Ferry Svan och jag är en timbersportatlet.
All right, next heat coming up between Poland and Great Britain. Poland is one of those teams that we are looking forward to watching very much because they have been steadily climbing the charts, as it were, as far as the skill level. They've got a bunch of very skilled, very experienced guys, as well as what you mentioned earlier, Sterling, is some very skilled young men, including Simon Grunwald.
Absolutely. Team Poland has all the elements that you're looking for from a podium finisher. They've got the youth on their side with, you know, they've got their rookie champion there, Simon Grunwald, but that's his father that you see there on the stock saw. So what they also have is that veteran leadership. And, you know, as you get into later rounds, things like that are where they're going to propel you through to the next round, you know, like being able to maintain your composure, being able to coach your team through, keep them on an even keel. But, you know, Great Britain's been coming on stronger and stronger, but I was talking to them backstage and, you know, they got 14 seconds to make up based on their time trial. They got to try and find 14 seconds against Poland, and that's not going to be an easy feat. So what that is going to do is it's going to give us an amazing run from Great Britain because they got to let it all hang out here.
Yeah, and they're going to do that. We could see there Tom Redmond setting up on the single buck, and George Spencer will be taking care of business on that stock saw to start things off with. And we've seen him do very, very good things with the stock saw in the past. So it could well be, like what you mentioned, is he can get them started and head that over to Rob Chatley on the underhand. Could be a good job for Great Britain because they've got a strong team as well.
Absolutely, but you know, Rob Chatley be taking on Michael Dubicki. No easy task.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good pickup by both these guys, Jacek Grunwald and George Spencer, as they get those stock saws working. George looking good as both of them get to the bottom of that cut. Slight advantage for Team Great Britain as they head over to Rob Chatley on the underhand, and he is quick with it, wide open on that first side, and he switches to the second side slightly ahead of Michał Dubicki, who did get a bit of a sticky axe on that second side to start things off with. Chatley might have an advantage as he tries to send it over, but oh, Dubicki was so fast on that second side, insane. And now it's Tom Redmond going up against Christian Kazmarek on the single buck. Oh, Kazmarek is fast on that cut. Look at that. Heading over to Simon Grunwald on standing block chop. Tom Redmond trying to get through. He bows that saw a little bit. And now he gives it to Glenn Pendleton on standing for Great Britain. But it looks like it's going to be Poland in this one. Look at this young man right here. All concentration, all power, all cuts, all day long. 56-96 unofficially for Poland, and Great Britain still pushing their way through as Glenn Pendleton tries to get that block cut through and get a decent time. The times still count for the international rankings, and 1:13.32 for Great Britain there, but Poland had that one from single buck on.
Yeah, you know, as we talked about in the pre-show, Poland is a powerhouse. Like, you can't see the sheer size of these guys, but all firemen. Every member of that team is a fireman in Poland. If my building's on fire, that's who I want carrying me out.
I think we might have a flag on the play on the Polish side. I'm not sure, but they were kind of looking worried. I don't see any cameraman looking down at a flag, so maybe I'm incorrect here. But nope, no flag. So it was just me thinking weird. That's all.
They're just trying to herd the sheep over to the decision zone as Judge Hallett waits patiently.
And the winner is Poland.
So there you go, the official time for Team Poland, 57.83. Great time. Great Britain, a 1:13.06. A valiant effort, but it really came down to that single buck at the end of the day, I believe.
Absolutely, as well as the underhand, as we were kind of talking about, Great Britain knew they had to go. So what I kind of saw from Rob Chatley on that underhand, and hopefully we get a good shot of that, is Rob Chatley was around very, very quickly on that underhand. he might not have done all his homework on the front, but what he was looking for was he was going for it, you know? He was hoping that block came off to give his team that edge because, you know, he's going up against Polish champion Michael Dubicki, who is one of the strongest underhand cutters in all of Europe. And that is what took Poland into an early lead here. It's not even just how hard he hits, it's how fast that man hits on the underhand. So you see him coming through here, and he actually did go back for an extra hit just to make sure that block is severed. And then what an amazing single saw cut we saw there from Poland as well. That's what powered them through, all the way through. Poland looking very, very strong with that sub 1 minute time. They're going to be tough to beat going forward.
Yeah, Christian Kazmarek was a monster on that single saw. And you could see here George Spencer doing his best to give support. But there was just no stopping this Polish side and those final drivers from Simon Grunwald. Glenn Penlington as well doing a great job here to try and, and one thread just hanging on for dear life. All right, so here is a heat that the French fans are going to be looking forward to. France going up against Belgium. Adrien Courteau, Alexander Maurice, Pierre-Louis Poisson, and Loïc Voisson for the French side. David Bergen, Koen Martens, Robin Cuvelier, and Camille van Remdonk for the Belgian side.
He is there, yeah. And, you know, in front of this home crowd, that French team is going to be hard to beat, you know. They got Alexander Maurice on the underhand, their current French champion, but they've got their multiple-time national champion, Pierre Poubaret, on the single saw, and you know, he was once the owner of that single saw world record. So, you know, Belgium's got a big task ahead of them. They were able to pull just ahead of them, I believe, in the qualifying, but you know, it's going to take quite an effort from either of these teams to come forward. This is one of our key matchups. You know, we're moving into that middle of the bracket where the teams are very, very evenly matched. So it's going to be who can execute coming down the stretch here as we move into our last few rounds of the round of 16 here.
And there we saw just a quick camera pass of Camille van Remdonk, who will be the anchor, cutting on the standing block chop. And you mentioned you've known him since he was knee-high to a toadstool. And he has become an incredible young athlete in timber sports.
Absolutely. Actually a multi-sport athlete. Just turned 18. But I've watched him come up since he was very young, since he was just on site helping clean up chips, and also a nationally recognized track and field athlete. So, you know, he's already got the genes in him. Let's see what he can do on the standing block.
Yeah, I think he does javelin as well as discus, correct?
I believe so.
Athletes ready.
All right, here we go.
To your timber.
France,
3, 2,
home favorites,
1,
obviously,
go.
going up against Belgium, and they're underway. Great start by Adrien Courteau with the French side for that stock saw. David Bergen, though, has a really nice cut. And look at that, both cookies dropping at exactly the same time as we head over to Alex Maurice, the French champion, going up against Koen Martens, the Belgian champion. Maurice over to the other side with Koen Martens about a half stroke ahead of him on second side. And Koen Martens pushing the envelope of speed there as he gets through that block. And Maurice has got through now. It's coming over to the man with that single saw in hand. It is Pierre Poubaret. Oh, and that was a good cut from Poubaret, who knows exactly what he needed to do there. Robin Cuvelier, not as fast as he would have liked, but look at Camille van Remdonk go at it up against Loïc Voisson. The two of them going hard on this block. Camille van Remdonk over to the other side. Loïc Voisson on the second side as well. He's done it! Loïc Voisson made the final cut for France, and they are through, barring any flags on the play. They've done it with the home crowd advantage on their side, and France will go on to the quarterfinal. What a great and valiant effort from Belgium, though. And Camille van Remdonk looked like he was really going for it hard on that standing block chop at the end.
Absolutely, a brilliant cut put through, and you know, with a few more years under his belt, Camille is going to be a force to reckon with, not only in these team events, but also on the individual. There's a few things we'll look over in the replay on that standing block. I think he could have picked up a couple extra seconds, but you know, I don't know if it was going to be enough to make a difference. Pierre Poubaret on that single saw, they've lit this crowd on fire, though.
Absolutely. They are on their feet here in the sold-out arena that's in it. And you can see Camille breathing heavy there.
France!
And now it's official. France wins that one in a time of 101.71. Belgium with a 104.23. Both these teams over a minute. And we are going to head down to the main stage for an interview. I believe it's going to be with Team France. I don't see what else they would do except for an interview with Team France, but we're going to get to that after our slow-mo reviews and a little bit of insight from Sterling Hart here.
Absolutely. So you know, a good cut put forth by the French team, but they've still got some time they can make up. You know, the stock saw, solid. As we've always said, it's basically go out, do your job. And both cutters did exactly that. To see David Bergen of Belgium there. And then moving on to this underhand, Alexander Maurice did an amazing job on this underhand, but going up against Koen Martin, a European champion, Koen cut absolutely lights out on this one, as you see him, and he gave that slight edge that he needed to Robin Coublier there, because going up against the this beast from France, Pierre Poubaret, on that single saw, like just the calm composure on his face. You know, he knows exactly what he needs to do. Smooth as fast. As you see those long, smooth strokes, giving that lead into the standing block. And that was all that lead that they needed for France to move on to that next round.
Nice final driver there from Loic Poisson. Another one of those young men coming out of the rookie ranks just about 2 years ago, who has proven himself to be an excellent timber sports athlete. Wow, look at that block. It's just been destroyed by Camille van Rembrandt.
And he knew. You see the look on Camille's face. He knew how close he was, and there was a few little minor things, but every athlete's got to go through that, you know. I don't feel like you can...
Mesdames et messieurs, les 4 athlètes français. Moi, on a juste une question. Just one question tonight. Est-ce que tu peux dire un mot au public?
Bonjour à tous. Et puis...
Ça fait 3 mots. Hein.
Extraordinaire.
The crowd is just amazing. Quelle était la clé? Parce que ça n'a pas forcément été facile de gagner, mais quelle a été la clé? Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui a été un petit peu plus fort sur un élément particulier? Comment ça s'est passé pour vous, dis-moi?
On a tous été vraiment très bons, et ça c'est grâce à vous. C'est grâce à vous ce soir. Merci. On n'est pas prêt d'en finir là.
We were all so good and it's not finished and the crowd is just amazing. Thank you guys, merci les gars. Et on se revoit tout à l'heure, hein, en forme. Vous pouvez les applaudir très fort encore, l'équipe de France.
Coming up, it's Australia against the Netherlands, and boy, the Netherlands have some work cut out for them here, as we finally seem to have broken through our technical difficulties and have our headsets back up. So right now, coming onto the stage, it is the reigning team world champion Australia, Cody Steers, taking on the job of the underhand chop.
Yeah, this is the first time we've seen the new Australian champion, Cody Steers, on this stage. So they're getting him out there to give him a run, you know, kind of get those stage jitters out. And, you know, he actually did have a run in the qualifying because
by accident.
There was a bit of a miscommunication, and they seem to have left Brad DeLosa off getting some medical treatment, and there was miscommunication on the timeline. So last minute, Cody Steers grabbed a hold of Brad DeLosa's saw, grabbed his shoes, tucked his shirt in, and headed up on the stage.
Time of the day.
But Brad DeLosa is definitely feeling loose now.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty much every timber sports athlete's worst nightmare, is showing up late. So he knows he's got something to prove here in this first round. So, and you know, here's a dark horse prediction. We may see that world record fall. They were that close.
Oh. Warm up your saws.
Qualifying. Look out for them to come out here guns a-blazing.
45.10, that is moment. Absolutely. Also held by Team Australia.
Rick van Drielen taking on the duties of single saw for
Athletes
the Netherlands.
ready.
And Red Mark
Stand
on that
to your
underhand
timber.
chop position.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, both teams getting right into it on that stock saw. Martin Harms looking good over there. Oh yeah, both of them dropping at the same time, heading over to the underhand, and here we go. Cody getting into it on that underhand, over to the second side quickly. And he is through. Australia looking very good here. Brad DeLosa on his favorite discipline, that single saw, and wasting no time to get that thing singing. Getting plenty of support. Oh, what a big hook up there as he is through. I don't know why the time stopped for Australia. Now it's back up and counting again. They're definitely not going to get the world record in this here, but boy, they're working hard to get there. 55-58, well under a minute there for Australia, and that is going to eliminate the Netherlands from competition here today.
And I love that. You hear this French crowd getting into it, and that's what it's all about, you know, is you're the only one up on stage there now.
Last driver there for Martin. Good job. Boy, he really took that last bit blocked apart. $117.60 for the Netherlands on that one.
But you know, seeing Australia come out of that with a 55-second cut and a little bit of a hang up here and there, none of them put in their best cuts, so you know, that puts a little bit of doubt in your mind. Like if we look back at the round of 16, Sweden actually cut faster than Team Australia.
Yeah.
You know, so we start to see everything starting to level up here.
And the winner is Australia.
So official time 55.43 and a 119.23. So Australia will continue on into the quarterfinal. Don't think we have any block buildups in the quarterfinal yet, but we'll get that to you as soon as we do have some lineups set. And there is the trophy that these guys are working for. And it's been an Australasian battle for the longest time with this with that trophy.
Absolutely, you know, they've retained dominance down there in the South Pacific for over a decade here now, as we see your Australian champion Cody Steers getting a chance to get on that underhand block. And there you see just the precision that these Australian axemen bring to the table.
I was going to say, those were some smooth sides.
That's what you're looking for, to chase each hit. You end up picking up that extra half-inch per cut, and that's why you just see them excel so much. And yeah, we see an uncharacteristic hang here. So what happened is he thought he had it on that push stroke. He thought he was basically done. Went for that last little drive, didn't quite get it, so he wasn't prepared for the pullback there. So, you know, there's going to be some recalibrating for all those guys on Team Australia as they move forward into these future rounds.
But Sterling, that's the time when you want to make those mistakes, right? It's in the round of 16 and not in the semifinals, for instance.
If you had to pick a time to make mistakes, yeah,
it's
when you're still coming out on
top. Or in the time trials, maybe, hey?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we got a couple of Canadians here wishing for a good Canadian run as Canada goes up against Germany in this one.
Nathan Cumberland back on that underhand block. He's taken a couple years off. You see him with that back brace. He struggled with a little bit of a lower back injury. So having him back, he has not lost a step. And, you know, we've been this close, Canada has, to being on top of that podium. And we call him the dump truck, Nathan Cumberland. He is a big man. You stand next to him, he hits fast and he hits hard. And, you know, we got his brother, Ben Cumberland, over there on the standing block. Those two brothers, two of the strongest axemen in Canada. Amazing,
there
amazing.
We see Marcel Steinkemper from Germany getting ready on standing. He's their anchor man. Christoph Lang setting up the single saw. A lot of pressure on the German team as well. In the last couple of years, they've made some very good strides, and they've been there, but not quite there. You've watched this, you've witnessed this. What's it going to be for you, for them to really make that
Warm
next
up your
step?
saws.
You know, I haven't seen them really come together as a team. You know, you can see the teams backstage when they really gel, and I haven't seen that as much out of the German team the last few years. There's been a bit of a shake-up in the lineup, so, you know, they're going to have to cut pretty much lights out if they hope to take out Canada in this round.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, team captain Peter Bauer for Germany on the stock saw, and it's Nick Russell for Team Canada on stock saw. Peter Bauer always solid in this discipline, and giving the advantage here to the German side as they get going on their underhand chop. Oh yeah, but you were talking about it. Nate Cumberland really doing a good job getting over to the second side quickly on that underhand, and you are not lying. He's a big man with some pace.
As he pushes it over there to the beast from out east, we see Marcel Dupuis on that single saw with a couple of hang-ups there over on the German side, and Marcel just
oh my goodness,
a man possessed.
Quick. Christoph Lang pushing hard to try and get through there. He's doing a good job. He's gotten down to the bottom. He goes over to the standing block chop. Marcel Dupuis, very sticky first driver there. He's Marcel Dupuis, excuse me, Marcel Steinkemper. There's too many Marcels on stage.
Absolutely. It would have been lovely to see Canada come off.
Yeah,
it would be
53.81. Awesome. Good time as well. Fantastic.
Actually, the fastest time of the day so far.
Huh. You don't say.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
And Marcel Steinkemper finishing it off for Canada in 1:08.10. Both of these times have had, both these teams rather, have had faster personal best. Germany's been under a minute with 56.59. Canada has had a 49.72 in the past. I think that was only when you were cutting with them, right?
Yeah, you know, they'll never be as great as when I was there, you know. No, this is the strongest team that I have seen Canada have, and I can confidently say that. Having Nathan Cumberland back in that lineup and being able to have Marcel over there on the single saw, we lose nothing on the single saw. But what the ability that Nathan has on that underhand is to cut those lights out, those underhands that do start to challenge the likes of Jack Jordan and Braden Myers. Like, make no mistake, Canada is here to gun for a gold medal.
And the winner is Canada.
All right, well, they're one step closer to getting there, and Canada will move on to the quarterfinal. And unfortunately for Team Germany, they are eliminated from contest action today. It was a great job by the Canadian side to really get through there, and we'll get some analysis in the slow-mo shortly here from Sterling.
Absolutely, and yeah, you know, the stock saw, hopefully we get some shots of both competitors on this stock saw. There was some very close cuts to the line. I look over on Nick Russell. So in the stock saw, we always say thin to win. The thinner the cut, the less compression that saw has going through that disc. So that you see that very thin disc of Nick Russell. Wow. He told me he cut in excess of 250 discs the week leading up here, as we see Nathan Cumberland just absolute power.
He murdered that block. There's Christoph Lang getting some support from Peter Bauer. Little hookup right there.
Some beautiful shots of underneath the single saw, as we've now gone back in time to see that again. Now this is what we missed as we were zoomed in over on the other side. Ben Cumberland powering through on that standing block. And what I did see out of Ben that one, in the qualifying cuts, we saw Ben really going for pace, and he had a few sticks in the block, you know, as he was trying to race a little bit too much. So we had a few chats backstage, taking a little bit off the speed, a little more on the power, and that came through from him as we move into this next round.
And it is the final heats in the round of 16. No, it isn't. It's the last. It's heats 11, New Zealand versus Czechia, followed by United States versus Hungary.
You're closing it down on the U.S. a little bit too early there, Floaty.
Absolutely.
You got a favorite here or what?
I'm not saying anything, no.
New Zealand obviously is going to be the favorite in this one, having been the only other team to ever take Australia down in that team event. And we haven't seen the same results that we would normally see out of Czech Republic here. You know, you see that personal best of a 54.31. but they haven't come close to that yet in our qualifying and in our last chance round. So we'll see if they can look for a little bit of redemption here. They're going to need every second they can get if they hope to topple the Kiwis here.
But there's a saying they use in hockey very often. That's when you know you're playing a team that by paper is better than you, you generally play up. And this is what we might see out of Czechia. Not to say that New Zealand is drastically better than Czechia. Their personal best time of 54.31. It's not a ton slower than Czechia's or New Zealand's time of 47.90. But suffice it to say, if you know you're up against a team that has a slightly faster time, you may well let that adrenaline work for you.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good start cut by both of these sides. New Zealand looking clean and smooth on Stocksaw. Thomas Forstal for the Czech Republic gets through there and sends it over to Matěj Klima, excuse me. He's a very good underhand chopper. Jack Jordan, boy, this kid can hit. I mean, this boy is 3-time trophy champion. He's got world records in the trophy as well, and he got through there in no time flat. Meanwhile, Rob Dowling going for it. Shortcuts, but quick. Martin Kalina doing a good job to try and do a bit of catch-up here. He may well give an opportunity to Zdeněk Maraš as Shane Jordan on second side already. Boy, this is going to be a tough one for the Czechia side, and Shane Jordan is already through in a time of 51.94. Wow. Czechia still pushing hard to get through there and get a time in perhaps under a minute. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though, with 2 more drivers going to do it for Czechia. 102.69, and that eliminates a very strong Czechia team who, as you mentioned, were uncharacteristically slow today.
Yeah, you know, we didn't quite see the typical results that we would out of the Czech Republic there. You know, but you still see the team camaraderie, a very tight-knit team, you know, awesome sportsmanship, and they're obviously not happy with their results this year, as you can see it on the face of Matthias Klima there. But you know they'll be back next year. Perennially, they are always in the top of the field of these European teams, but New Zealand looking strong. That is our fastest time of the day so far, with just 1 heat left. So New Zealand looking good. You know, and that's going to give them some confidence going into those later rounds here.
And the winner is New Zealand.
So New Zealand, Canada, and Australia are already moving on to the quarterfinals. The next heat coming up will determine who else is going to join them. Is it going to be Hungary or the United States? The United States was very close last year, coming in second place. They are going to be hangry for this one.
They're hungry for a gold medal, absolutely, as we look back on the some of the slow-mo replays here of our last heat with the Czech Republic and New Zealand. And, you know, again, a lot of this comes down to the chopping events. You see Jack Jordan, he only put 13 hits in that underhand. I've seen some of the teams put that in one side of the block, you know, and that's why he is your 3-time Champions Trophy champion as well as a world champion. Pushing over and having Bobby Dowling over there on the single saw, you know that you're not losing anything at all. And then Jack's brother Shane Jordan over there has been on these world championship teams before. So we see some of the last cuts of Zdeněk Maraš putting forward a very great cut. He's been their anchor the last couple of years.
My word.
You could say that.
That was a redemption cut for Shane, for sure. He didn't have his best cut there in the qualifying, but they definitely made a comeback as we move into our last heat of the round of 16.
All right, the USA going up against Hungary, and a clear favorite here as far as tail of the tape is concerned. Under 50 seconds at 47 even for the US. Hungary, their personal best 110.71. Again, I use that reference of playing up. It could be Hungary improves their time a little bit here, perhaps even gets a personal best, knowing they're going up against a strong team like the U.S.
Absolutely, and knowing all the athletes from the U.S., this is the strongest team that they could put forward. They have such a deep talent pool over there in the States. They lose nothing on each event, but Hungary coming off a bit of a high here. you know, as they, in their first round there, I don't know if they expected to make it through, but they cut absolutely lights out, and they're in a position of, they've had nothing to lose. You know, they're going up against a powerhouse in this United States team.
Yeah.
And
you just have to go for it, like you said.
Absolutely. Is typically you'd see Jason Lentz on the standing block there for Team USA, but they've got their U.S. champion Nate Hodges out there, giving them a bit of a run.
All right, whistle blast is going, saws are being started, and we are about to go with our final heat in the round of 16, heat number 8, the USA against Hungary.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good cut by Matt Slingerland. Josef Strubel doing the same, sending it over to the underhand chop. Pretty evenly matched up there. Switching over, Bencha Strubel. Matt Kogar on underhand, I believe. Yep. And now I think that's Mark Boquin on that single saw for the USA as the Hungarian side moves it over to Zoltán Andraska. Mark Boquin, nice clean cut as Nate Hodges will go for it on standing block chop. Switching over to the other side, wasting no time to get over there. And he really wants to make a statement here in this team competition. And one more driver should do it for Nate Hodges. Wow, 52-55, good run for him. And the U.S. have done and dusted Hungary here as Zoltán Andraska. Does they have a three-man team out there? Is that what I'm seeing? No.
I don't know. I just figured there was two guys with the same name. I can't figure out how it's working here.
No.
Beautiful cut, though. You know, Hungary is going to go away with this.
Proud. Definitely proud.
Well, somebody's got to say it. They're going to come back hungry next year. It's like, low-hanging fruit. I know. But, you know, oh, but a flag.
Uh-oh.
A flag on the play here.
The U.S. side. No, it's on the Hungarian side.
Hungarian side.
I mean, at this point, it's moot because the U.S. had a time of 52.43 official and a 136.76. So the only thing that could happen is a 15-second penalty for Hungary.
But again, that will make a difference in the overall rankings.
Okay, Hungary, 15-second penalty on transition. The winner is USA.
So they got a 15-second penalty on transition, which means that the athlete from one discipline to the other started too soon.
They didn't say which.
They didn't say which.
Well, we shall guess.
Yeah, we're going to have to look back at the slow-mos here.
Hungary should be very happy with themselves. Like, you know, the 15-second penalty aside, that's an easy fix. They know now that they are right there with the rest of the European teams. So that's going to be a huge thing for them going forward, as you see Matty Slingerland there. Obviously one of the fastest stock sawyers in the nation there. And, you know, as a stock sawyer for the U.S., you're just handing it off to Matt Kogar, one of their strongest cutters, so consistent. You know, he's been a record holder. He may still be a record holder. Cutting that underhand in just over 14 seconds, that's what it's going to take for U.S. if they want to come home with a gold medal. Mark Boquin as well. A little bit of a hang there. You saw the similar thing happen to Brad DeLosa where he thought he had it, but had to go back for one extra, as you actually saw the exact same thing on Hungary.
I think the problem was Mark Boquin's Where's Waldo socks.
I don't know if you ever stood next to Mark Boquin, but you go ahead and tell him that.
Well, Johan is going to stand next to him soon because we got the U.S. team for an interview ready. But maybe that could be one of the questions.
Well, the Hungarian fans are not upset with how things are going.
Not at all. Not at all.
Nobody is.
they say, guys, the competition is really tough. What will be your focus for the next round?
Just cleaning up on the things we're already doing, just really hone in on our skill sets and just do the best we can. And whenever you put all that together, that's usually whenever you have a winning time.
Ok, en gros, ils vont continuer, ils vont déjà ranger tout leur matériel, le préparer pour la suite, continuer à discuter ensemble pour être encore meilleurs et pour passer le prochain tour et pour essayer d'être en demi-finale. You said that you didn't visit Toulouse. You have to visit Toulouse, man. You have to visit Toulouse. No, my question is, can you, I don't know, what for you, how is the atmosphere here in the Zenith of Toulouse?
Oh, this is one of the best crowds I've ever seen anywhere in the world. Hands down ever. This is absolutely astronomical.
Thank you very much. Mesdames et messieurs, vous êtes tout simplement le meilleur public sur toute la planète entière. Vous pouvez les applaudir encore très fort, l'équipe des États-Unis d'Amérique. Congratulations, guys, and see you for the next round.
Well, they seem to be happy.
Yeah, why not? They've got themselves a good time. They're in that quarterfinal round, and I was just taking a look at the lineup for the quarterfinal. We do have the possibility that these quarterfinals are going to be very interesting because Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the United States, when we see this list come up here, are all in separate heats from each other. So there is a possibility for an upset. There is a possibility that there's going to be some head-to-head heats coming our way that are going to be very interesting.
Absolutely, you know, as you see the visuals coming forward here. But, you know, as I look back over my list, Australia had the 5th fastest time in that round of 16. And that's a big thing in my mind. You know, like, the teams are catching up. Australia has been so dominant the last the last decade, really. But the rest of the teams are starting to close that gap, you know, and the wood is going to get softer. I know that the wood is going to get softer as we move through into these later rounds. And what
Why is that so? Why is that so?
Makes for better races, you know? Like, our team does an amazing job here of making sure the wood is even between each team up there.
Well, we're wasting no time, and we've got the boys lined up for the quarterfinal heat number 1. And there you can see our heat lineups: Austria, Australia, Poland, Canada, Sweden, New Zealand, France, United States. On the right side of that list, you could see potential semifinal lineups there. But, you know, Poland is also on the left side. Sweden's on the left side. 2 very strong teams that could be upsetters for Canada and New Zealand.
Yeah, you know, it's a very easy thing for some of these top seeds to do is start looking ahead to your next round. But
that's our job.
Absolutely, yeah. We're here to talk about the what-ifs, but, you know, obviously Austria's got a tall order ahead of them, but yes, as we've seen, doesn't take much for a DQ to happen or somebody else to get greedy on one of the chops, so...
All right, so here we go with our lineups for quarterfinal number 1, and that is the Herminator, Herman Heiligebrunner, in there. And there you can see him marking up his block.
That is a big man who really enjoys competition.
That is a big man.
He is a big man.
Absolutely.
But I was absolutely amazed to watch him climb the tree. He got up there like a cat. For a big man, he moves very well. There's a lot of concentration. Almost looks like worried concentration on Australia's
I wouldn't
faces.
say that. Very focused, but no worries.
Huh? I don't know. I think worry.
They know what they need to do. They know the job ahead of them. They know they need to get back on track here. You know, they didn't have the greatest qualifying run. A little mishap there. They didn't have the greatest run in the round of 16. Australia knows it's now time to buckle up and get to work. So
and
I think
maybe
that's what we're
impress the opponents.
Exactly. Exactly.
We also see that Braden Meyer is back on the underhand chop for Australia. So here we go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good pickup for Jim Head and Herman Heiligebrunner as they get those stock saws working. Oh, Oh, this could be close heading over to the underhand. It is pretty much dead even onto the underhand. Gunther Thallinger and Braden Meyer going up against each other. But there's really nobody that can go against Braden Meyer. Look at the pace, look at the power, look at the accuracy. Unbelievable cut from Braden Meyer. 11.08 seconds on the underhand as they head over to Brad DeLosa and his favorite piece of butter that he's cutting with a hot knife. Look at that thing go. Disc down, and it is Australia's Mitch Argent on standing block now, and they are well and truly in the lead here. Josef Lyer doing his best to try and get the Austrian back into the mix, but right now there's really no chance for them against Australia.
Wow.
And oh boy, look at the time. 47.67 for Australia. And now it is Armin Kugler on that standing block chop as they edge towards a 1 minute time here, but Australia has done a great job and moved themselves into a semi-final spot, eliminating Austria. Austria, a valiant attempt here, and that will drop the block at 109.60 as our judges come in to check the scene. But I don't think there was anything untoward in that one, as Australia just decimated the blocks on their side of the stage.
Yeah, you know, as soon as Australia does give us that little glimmer of hope that the rest of the league might be catching up, boom, 47 seconds, back on track.
But have you noticed how Australia tends to get stronger the longer the heats go on? It's a phenomenon.
Everybody does, and it's always, you know, you saw they did a little bit of a mix-up in the lineup there, and we'll talk a little bit more about that after Judge Rich Hallett gives us the final decision here.
And the winner is Australia.
We see that decision going there to Australia, leaving no doubt. Now, what I was talking about before is what you'll see some of the top nations do is they will actually rotate their lineup a little bit. You saw that Braden Meyer was not on the underhand in that first heat, as well as the U.S. You saw them put Nate Hodges in there. Now, a lot of that is they want to give their other guys a run. You know, they might not be their fastest on that specific event, but they want to get them on stage. They're champions. They're Cody Steers, their champion for tomorrow, as well as Nate Hodges. But as you were saying, they get faster throughout the rounds, and that's because you start to get in a bit of a groove. You know, you start to get the hang of it, what the wood's giving you, how you're feeling. You get to work out your little inconsistencies. And when you've got one less round to do that, you know, sometimes that can make the difference going into the semifinals and the finals. So we're going to see if that does. It didn't seem to rattle Braden Meyer there one bit.
No, it didn't bother him, but I've never really seen Braden Meyer stressed in any situation. I mean, I watched him training earlier on in loafers and jeans out on the test block, so the guy doesn't seem to get rattled too much. And you were mentioning getting their groove back. The Australians are a little bit like Stella getting her groove back. Australia is getting their groove back. That's a devastating thing for the other teams, knowing that Australia is just getting better and better.
It is slightly demoralizing as being on the receiving end of that brutalization over the years, but you know.
But a great heat from Austria.
Yeah.
This should not be unmentioned. 3 seconds faster than in the round of 16, so good job.
This one coming up now, the quarterfinal heat number 2, should be a very interesting one. I mean, nothing to lose, but nothing to be gained by being silly in this one either. Canada going up against Poland. We know Canada's got a solid team. You mentioned it's one of the strongest teams they've ever had. Poland, same can be said for them.
And look at the athletes walking into the arena. That was, whew.
Absolutely. I mean, that Polish team is just intimidating to be around. But, you know, these two teams are very evenly matched. They've been very evenly matched in the past. And, you know, it's a very good motivator that win or go home. You know, both teams know if they don't bring out their A game here.
That's putting it to the point, yeah. Win or go home.
That'll be it. That'll be it. You've got 364 days to think about it.
That's a long time to commiserate.
It's a long time, especially when they re-air these episodes weekly. Yeah.
Oh, look at Marcel counting the teeth.
Absolutely. These guys are technicians, you know. They've done this, like, they've got over 20 years experience. They know, they have everything down to an absolute science in this. It may look like he's just pushing and pulling that saw, but a sawyer like Marcel Dupuis can feel every single tooth is doing exactly what it needs to as he pushes and pulls that back and forth.
Warm up your saws.
Nate Cumberland, a little stretch there as he gets ready to go on that underhand chop for Canada. He's going to be going up against Mika Dubitsky an absolute beast on this discipline. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out between these two guys once they get over to the underhand. This could be a key
athletes
discipline
ready
for this
Stand
particular set of
to
heats.
your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, good pickup by Nick Russell, though. He got that saw in action quickly. Jacek Grunwald, no slouch there either. And it looks like it was, in fact, Nathan Cumberland getting the start just ahead of Mika Dubitsky on the underhand. Nate's onto the other side, almost a little bit wobbly there. Look at the pace that Nate's cutting with. Wow, that's a good cut by Nate Cumberland. And Mika Dubitsky is through as well. Sending it over now to Kristen Kosmarek and Marcel Dupuis on the single saw. Marcel Dupuis got a little bit of a stop there. Christian Kosmarek, really good flow. Marcel Dupuis is through, and Christian Kosmarek is through. Simon Grunwald on the underhand, or the standing block chop against Ben Cumberland now. Ben Cumberland over to the second side. Simon Grunwald over to the second side. Who's going to get through there? The power of both of these guys is incredible. And it's going to be Canada with a personal best 48.43 and Poland with a 49.41. What a race by those two teams. And that's what I was talking about. Absolutely fantastic run by both these teams, pushing and pushing and pushing each other.
Look, Simon, he had a knot in the wood. He had a knot in the wood.
And he had a knot in the wood.
What you see him pointing at is the knot, but all I saw is that bit of wood that he missed in the middle where he didn't space his axe properly. So, you know, it's a bit of a rookie mistake, to be honest, pointing at the mistake that the natural piece of wood made. And, you know, maybe not taking ownership of that you could have cut that block slightly better.
That was an exciting one.
Absolutely.
Wow, that was one of the most exciting heats we've had today.
And let's point out, 2 personal bests in that heat, so that's fantastic.
And the winner is Canada.
All right, so with a sigh of relief here for Canada, as 2 Canadians are sitting here trying to be neutral. Unfortunate for Poland, but man, what a fantastic heat from Poland. And both of these teams pushing each other every step of the way. There was no holding back.
No, you know, like Canada got off to a great start there with Nick Russell on the stock saw. But that's not where the race is won and lost, as we've talked about. They come off pretty even, but you know, as we got down to Nate Cumberland, he picked up 2 seconds on Michael Dubicki, which is not an easy thing to do.
No,
no, definitely
you know,
not.
And the single saw.
Wow,
that's man. It is good having that boy back over there, and you see Marcel Dupuis putting everything into that. But you know, he almost looked a little bit heavy on the saw.
Yeah.
As he got to the end of his push stroke, Marcel was having a bit of extra drag pulling it back, and I think you actually saw the Polish team gain a little bit of ground back here.
Christian Kosmarek had a really good single saw.
He had a beautiful cut. But, you know, Ben Cumberland did exactly what he needed to do here. Showing poise, that thing coming off just perfect, not giving an inch to the Polish former rookie there in Simon Grunwald. A beautiful cut. Now, that is an unfortunate thing sometimes. There is imperfections in the wood. There's not much we can do about that, though, as we...
That's the nature of nature, right?
Natural material,
Absolutely.
Next quarterfinal coming up, Sweden versus New Zealand.
This should also be an interesting one. This is a good battle here between these two teams, I believe. Pontus Schia, Ferry Swan, Kalle Svadling, Emil Hansen for the Swedish side. Kyle Lemon, Jack Jordan, Robert Dowling, and Shane Jordan for the New Zealand side.
But call me crazy, just a small mistake from New Zealand, and I believe that Sweden can get that.
Well, I mean, they definitely want it. They're motivated to have it, and they've got a young, talented team with some good skills, and they've got a great coach in Hans Ove Hansen, so he knows exactly what he needs to do in order to be a champion, and he's brought them along.
Yeah, you know, and as we saw in that last round, Sweden had one of the top times in that last round, so they have the ability. Like you were saying, all it takes is that one little mistake, you know, an extra couple of hits in one of the blocks or a little bit of a hang up in the single saw, and Sweden is going to be poised to take on that opportunity and knock New Zealand out. So this is a big race for both teams.
Oh, you can really feel the tension.
Even out here, where I'm at a million miles away, it feels like from the arena, but we can
Warm
hear
up
the
your
screaming of the
saws.
audience through the walls of the stadium here.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Bit of a slow start there by Kyle Lemon. Fontashia had a pretty good one, but it's a thin cookie. Hopefully he's got a complete one. And over to the underhand chop. Jack Jordan up against Ferry Swan. Jack Jordan over to the second side of his block. Ferry Swan on the second side of his block now. These two guys have also had a couple of crit heats in the trophy format, but Jack Jordan, that was warm butter with a hot knife for him. Unbelievable cut. Rob Dowling now, nice clean cut on single. Kalle Swadling did a good job there as well. And now over to Shane Jordan on standing. Oh my goodness, Emil Hansen shortcut the first side. He's not going to be able to catch up. Oh! New Zealand with a personal best 4.633, and there was a piece left there. I thought that Emil Hansen caught up and the block went down, but one half of the block was still sitting there, and we have a flag on the play for the Swedish side. Video review indicated by
Checking video on stand A.
Rich Hallett.
But what a cut from that Swedish team on a sub 50-second cut.
4 personal bests if they don't get a DQ.
Yeah.
Things are going wild now. But that transition might have been.
I wonder if it's transition or if it's a cut line on the the stock saw, excuse me, because it looked very, very thin.
It looked like an early start to me, but that's...
I think what we're looking at is a transition here.
I think you're right. Good call there, Floaty.
A very close transition going from the underhand to the single saw. As you can see the judges looking at that, making sure that saw didn't move before. Oh
boy.
And I'm not going to call it because I'm not a judge, but
thankfully
that's not looking good for Team Sweden. But you know, it's kind of insult to injury at this point, as New Zealand already powered through that heat.
But you've got to take that risk in that situation, right?
You have to go for it.
Yeah.
And we all know that. Usually everybody's got that in their mind. There's a way they cut to go for it, and there's a way they cut to cut safe.
Okay, to check the video on Sweden, but this transition between underhand and single, 15-second penalty. The winner is New Zealand.
Transition between underhand and single is 15-second penalty there, as we heard Rich Hallett explain. So that's a 15-second penalty, pushing Sweden to 104.32, and the season's best personal best for our New Zealand side with a 46 dead even.
And that is the fastest time of the weekend so far, and only a few tenths of a second off that, about 9/10 of a second off that world record pace. So, you know, New Zealand's hungry.
Oh, yeah.
Australia's had some dominance over the last few years, but New Zealand's, they're on a bit of a warpath here, as we see.
Warpath is right.
Absolutely. We see Ferry Swan do everything he can to try and rein in that world champion Jack Jordan. 6 in the front, 6 in the back. There's not much you can do against all 6'5", 230 pounds of Jack Jordan. But Sverre Von reined him in pretty good. But again, Bob Dowling, one of the best, if not the best single sawyer in the world currently at this time. And then you're handing the reins off to Shane Jordan, who just,
hates that log.
year in, year out.
But that was so enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
And it's going to get loud now, guys. France taking on the United States. That's a final heat coming up in this quarterfinal. Can't wait for that one.
Wouldn't it be interesting if France eliminates the USA from competition here? That stadium will go berserk.
Knowing that they are already at a level that is unbelievable.
They've already turned it up to 11. They can only go up to 15 after that. All right, there you see the lineups for quarterfinal heat number 4, the last one before we set our semifinal between France and the United States. Adrien Courteau, Alexandre Maurice, Pierre-Louis Poisson. I don't think Pierre-Louis Poisson is going to be out there, though I believe it is going to be Pierre Pouy-Barret and Loïc Poisson. In fact, that is the case. Pierre Pouy-Barret, unless he's changed his name to Louis Poisson. Matt Slingerland, Matt Kogar, Mark Beauquin, and Jason Lenz back on the standing block chop. And there you go. huge round of applause for France as they're introduced.
We are about 100 meters away from the actual arena right now, and I felt the ground shake underneath my feet there.
Same, yeah.
That's one of those.
Well, what about that pressure?
Yeah,
Sterling. You know, competing against the home nation in a venue like this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these are all 4 very experienced international competitors. You know, they've been on the world stage in multiple different areas, multiple disciplines. You
Warm
know,
up
they've
your
got
size.
the composure to get
Still,
through
you
the
gotta
pressure
feel
situation.
it. You gotta feel it.
You still feel it. But I feel like the States feels that everywhere they go. You know, they're no strangers to having that target on their back. So it's going to take a mountain of an effort from this French team if they want to take down this U.S. powerhouse.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And you can hear the crowd just going for it. They're screaming. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts are going to scream all the way through this as Adrien Courteau sends it over to Alex Maurice and Matt Kogar on underhand for the U.S. Both of them over the second side of their blocks at the same time. Matt Kogar a little bit sticky there. Alex Maurice looking like he's going to have a good cut, and that's Kogar through first, and Maurice about 2 strokes behind him, sending it over now to the big man, Puy-Barré. Oh, but look at Marc Beauquin go. He's got a clean cut, a little sticky at the bottom there. Puy-Barré not that far behind, but the advantage definitely goes to the United States with big Jason Lenz on that first side now. Moving over to the second side, going up against Louis Poisson from France. France has now moved over to the second side of their block, and the States has done it. United States in 4.877, and France may well still do it in under a minute. They do. Personal best, 56.77 for France. A fantastic run.
Well done, well done.
Well done for France. They get the full appreciation and approval of the audience here, but unfortunately, they are eliminated.
You know, you see the passion on the faces of this hometown French crowd. And that French team should be very, very proud of the effort they just put up there.
Yeah.
And Alexander Maurice on that underhand, he kept right up with Matt Kogar, with national world record holder Matt Kogar.
Look at the crowd celebrating like they won that quarterfinal. Love it.
And the winner is USA.
I mean, our field reporter, Juan, he's already getting ready to talk to the French team, but I'm sure we're going to see some beautiful slow-mos.
Yeah.
Of one of the big favorites to win the title, États-Unis, the United States.
Absolutely, you know, and they were just out there just taking care of business. You know, they're going to rest on their on their choppers in this one, the U.S. You know, Matt Kogar, world record holder in the underhand at times. Jason Lance, one of the best standing block cutters in the world. And now they've got Marc Beauquin on that single saw, cutting 10-second single saw cuts. He's put up the fastest single saw cuts of the weekend so far. The States doesn't really have a weak event at all. And, you know, moving into some of the next rounds, there's going to be some good matchups. There's going to be some good matchups. So we see Marc Beauquin just making an absolute meal out of that single saw.
He was deep on each cut, hey? Knuckles to tips.
That is a diesel freight train.
Bam.
This French crowd's still running on adrenaline out there.
Well, they know they're going to hear an interview now with the team.
Absolutely.
So let's hear what they have to say. Team France coming up with our field reporter Juan in just a moment. Here we go.
Allez, mesdames et messieurs, on retrouve donc cette équipe de France qui malheureusement n'ira pas en demi-finale, mais qui a été là et qui a accompli le meilleur record de tous les temps pour une équipe de France. Même si je pense que vous êtes un tout petit peu déçus, vous avez quand même accompli un temps remarqué. Vous avez bossé pour ça pendant un peu plus d'une année.
C'est ça, on a travaillé pendant un an. Après, on savait que contre les États-Unis, ça allait être compliqué. Donc on s'est dit, le but, c'était le chrono et on l'a fait.
We knew that it will be complicated with the United States of America, but we beat the score. We beat all score, all time, and we are really happy. Je vais le faire en français, pardon, je m'embrouille. Vous avez bossé 1 an pour participer, pour être là, pour être hyper performant. Vous avez quand même accompli une performance de fou. Et qu'est-ce qu'on peut attendre pour la suite? Est-ce qu'on peut aller encore plus loin avec cette équipe de France?
C'est le but, c'est d'aller encore plus loin avec cette équipe de France pour les années à venir. Et tout ça, c'est grâce à vous, public.
Ils sont tellement en train de chanter, ils ont pas entendu. Yes, we can accept that the Team France could be really better in the next few years. It was they said, and the crowd is just amazing. Mesdames et messieurs, l'équipe de France!
Yeah, getting a personal best on home grounds, it doesn't get much better than that. So.
Absolutely will do. So let's take a look at what that's going to do to our list here as we now move towards the semi-finals. And
the best of the best, Troy, the best of the best.
I mean, where have we seen these before? Australia going up against Canada, New Zealand up against the United States. Australia, Canada battled last year, and Australia came out ahead of that one. Canada going to the small final, and the United States and Australia battled last year. But the way that New Zealand's been competing this year, it has been absolutely fantastic to see how well they've been battling.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's what many fans have been hoping for, to see the best of the best compete in the semi-finals at these Team World Championships 2024. And yes, Sterling, you have to be happy about Canada being in the semi-final for sure.
You know,
what are their chances against Australia?
Good.
Sorry for asking. Sorry for asking.
You guys got any more stupid questions?
Yeah, I got a whole list prepared.
No, you know, like, if there was a chance for us to get past Australia, it's right now. You know, Australia, I have not seen them on World Championship form yet, and Team Canada has just been getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So if there's a time, boys, it's right now.
I was on training camp with them in Switzerland. I watched them every day, and some of their runs, boy, oh boy, when they got the transitions right, that was crazy good.
Yeah, you know, there's like, in years we've had consistency where we're running 50-second cuts, night in, night out, boom, boom, boom. The team that Canada has assembled right now, it's lightning in a bottle. They have the ability to cut world record times right now.
But they had 1 or 2 bad runs as well, I have to add that. So they were not always fast, but when they were fast, they were damn fast.
Don't jinx it,
no,
Floaty, come on.
I'm just
He's one of those realists.
I know, yeah, those guys.
No, but the boys know what's at stake here. They've all been here before. There's nobody brand new on this team. Marcel has been on this team every single year that we have had this. Wow. He has been a teammate up there. He knows what's at stake. He's had the team ready in the past. Nate Cumberland has been national champion multiple times. He's been a rookie world champion. Same with Ben. You know, we've had a lot of success throughout Canada from all our athletes.
Warm up your
They know what the job is. They know what the task is ahead of them. It's a big one, but if anybody can do it, it's this team right here. As you see Nate Cumberland giving himself a smack. You don't see him get charged up like this very often. He knows it's coming down to...
Yeah, because he knows he's against
Athletes
Braden
ready.
Meyer on underhand.
Stand
He knows he has to
to
rein
your
in that.
timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
oh, that's a great stuff.
Nick Russell and Jamie Head getting on those stock saws quickly. Jamie's got a weird angle on that, and then both of them getting over to the underhand chop about the same time. Look at the pace of Nate Cumberland, though. Braden Meyer over about 2 strokes ahead of Nate Cumberland, and a bit of a sticky one. Big chip comes out for Nate, though, and it's looking good as he's going to get through there about 5 or 6 strokes behind Braden Meyer, and over to that single buck. 2 of the world's best at it here, but boy, oh boy, Brad DeLosa, oh my God, a bit of a sticky one for Marcel Dupuis, and it is now coming down to the standing block chop.
And that's close.
That's
it.
Oh
Whoa,
my God!
record!
43.87, a new world record. Ben Cumberland got a little bit stuck there, and a 51.62.
Holy moly.
We got to wait for that to be absolutely for sure. But it is well below the world record previous. That is unbelievable.
43.87. I cannot believe it.
They didn't break it. They just smashed it.
Obliterated it. I mean, you know, even if there is an adjustment from the Competition Control Center, that's still a world record. And that one's going to stand for a long time, I think. Boy, oh boy, that was fast.
I don't know. If you see the look on the Aussies' faces right now, they don't look like a team that just broke a world record. They look like a team that just put in another work day. And they're just trying to get to the weekend here because they know they still haven't cut to their potential.
Which is scary.
You think so?
Which is scary.
I think so. Like, I'm putting money on it right now. That world record falls again in the finals.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The
a
looks
new
on their
world
faces,
record.
that's what that tells me. Is they know they've got more. You see Jamie Head there. One more race. One more race. They've been here before. They know what it takes.
That potential is scary.
But it should be noted, the day's not over for Team Canada. They're going to go get ready for that small final and try and take out a bronze medal.
So I'm really looking forward to those slow-mos now.
Yeah. The question is, who will it be against in that small final, New Zealand or the USA? The way that New Zealand's been performing and the way they've been stepping up their game, it's very possibly going to be the USA, but let's see. All right, slow-mo's coming your way. Maybe.
World record slow-mos, guys.
As you see, seasoned veteran Jamie Head here on the stock saw. All these Team Australia members, they've been on this team for a number of years, so they know the task ahead of them. Jamie knows
he's not moving at all. The rest of his body, it's just a saw, huh?
Absolutely.
Wow.
We want to. We see Nick Russell there, an absolute technician.
That's a beautiful cut.
But again, Braden Meyer has been the one to bring this home for the team. And you know what? He could have cut that a hit or two better. But that was where they really pulled ahead of us there. And then Brad DeLosa. I'd like to see the split times on that again, but Brad DeLosa just cut an absolute blinding single saw, you know, and that's why they've got him over here on this team, like one of the best, if not the best, single saw cutters. And, you know, doesn't hurt having Mitchell Argent waiting for you on the standing block there. Business as usual. Those boys just broke a world record, and that just looks like, give me more. Give me more. Who wants some? Yes.
Come on, boys, let's go.
Like, not breaking a sweat, not even breathing. Look at the face on him.
some.
He's not even looking at the other team. He's looking at the time. Look at it. Man possessed. Okay, there was a bit of emotion there. Yeah.
But just
for
very
a
short.
moment.
Just for a moment.
Yeah.
All right, boys, let's settle it down and come back.
Wow, that was impressive.
All right,
Second
folks.
semi-final. New Zealand versus United States.
46-47. 1 second difference between these two teams on the tail of the tape. But I think we can throw that stat out the window at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And just wait for them to get going and start scrubbing wood.
Yeah, you know, and both of these teams actually have the potential to as well take a shot at that world record time. You know, all it takes is each of these guys putting on their top cut, each of their personal bests. If you put them all together, you've got world records on both sides. So, and they both know that they're going to have to go to beat the other one. So I expect this to be, you know, at 45-second cut range. Like, these guys are coming for business.
Well, the previous world record of 45.10 has been broken. We now have a world record of 43.64, ladies and gentlemen. So please keep a close eye on the clock as this set of heats goes between the United States and New Zealand. For New Zealand, Kyle Lemonjack, Jordan Robb Dowling, Shane Jordan. And for the United States, Matt Slingerland, Matt Kogar, Mark Boquin, Jason Lenz. The lineups that have been working for them all night long.
That means this is an all-star cast on both sides. This is, I'm looking forward to watching this heat. This is going to be fast.
And you called it, Sterling. We're going to see a world record tonight, and indeed we have.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber.
Right, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Nice pickup by both teams on the the stock saw. Wow. All right, 2 big underhand choppers, and it is Matt Kogar over to the second side ahead of Jack Jordan, but Jack Jordan is, slower on this one than Matt Kogar, so Matt Kogar has just thrown the hammer down here, showing that the United States is ready to lead, and Mark Beauquin going for it. Oh my God, to the bottom of the block.
Wow.
And look at this, a bit of a sticky one. Oh my goodness, Rob Dowling in trouble, and it's gone over to the U.S. The U.S. may well eliminate New Zealand here, as Shane Jordan doing his best, moving over to the second side against a big Jason Lentz.
Look at this.
He
doesn't cover.
Jason Lentz does it. 49-17. And Shane Jordan drops that block in 53-48. The hopes for New Zealand going up against Australia are shattered right here. And it is going to be, once again, the United States up against Australia in the final.
Wow.
Holy moly.
How much drama can you have?
Mark Beauquin just put that American team on his back. And I mean, if there's a set of shoulders that you're going to ride your way to a gold medal on, it's the shoulders of Mark Beauquin. That, you know, there was a couple of hang-ups there from New Zealand, uncharacteristic hang-ups from Bobby Dowling. But, you know, Mark Beauquin, so strong.
10.4 on that single buck. Wow.
Yeah, Rob Dowling cutting a 14.98 on the single buck, and I mean that's like 5 seconds faster than what he's cut previous, or slower.
And the winner is USA.
Well, what that does spell is bad news for Team Canada, because when you have an athlete of the caliber of Bobby Dowling make a mistake like that,
he's going to come back angry.
You know he's coming back angry,
Yeah.
and I've seen Bob Dowling angry. Not often, but I have seen him angry, and I wouldn't want to be a piece of wood standing in his way. Let's put it that way.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this again.
Again, it was Mark Beauquin really making the difference. Everybody else on the States did their job there. You know, the only thing I thought is Jason Lentz on the standing there went a little aggressive. You know, he went to just go 5 or 6 in the back. I thought he could have come up again in the far. You see 2 absolute powerhouses here. Matt Kogar taking down Jack Jordan in the underhand. Not an easy thing to do.
No, but it was very close between
Absolutely.
the two of them.
And just giving Mark, like, you knowing this now, you can't give Mark an inch.
Yeah, he cut that block like it was only an inch in diameter. Maybe we get a different angle on this hookup by Rob Dowling there. There it is.
See some happy feet, and just you can see the frustration.
Oh, he's gonna be
knowing, and that's the thing with the team competition. When you win as a team, it is the greatest thing ever. But you know, when you have something like that happen. But again, like seeing the few extra hits Jason had to put in, there is no room for that as they look to take their first ever gold medal against Team Australia, and they're going to have to do everything absolutely perfect.
Monumental task.
Absolutely. We've got some just blinding heats coming up very shortly. As we do take a look at our bracket, getting down to the nitty-gritty here, it will be Canada taking on New Zealand in that small final.
Same setup as last year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Followed by that gold medal match of the Aussies taking on the Americans. Hey, it's us.
Doesn't
Hi, everybody, we're back.
much better than
Did you
us.
miss us?
Yes.
Man, that was a set of heats, wasn't it?
I'm still completely exhausted.
Honestly, I'm sweating a little bit. I was kind of...
You're doing this all the time on my shirt.
As an athlete watching that, you're cutting every single block with those guys, especially watching your countrymen out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've got
I'm sweating.
The 2 big ones coming up, the small final and the big final. And of course, we want to give the athletes a short break. And that's why we're going to have some very interesting pictures for you coming up right now.
There's still some wild out there. But to look for it, you need something that can look adventure in the eye. Something built wild. You need a Bronco.
Yeah, so we told Sterling to grab something to drink. I mean, yeah, you came back very quickly, but...
you even managed to keep it off your shirt as well, huh?
Yeah, well done, well done. It is exciting, and I'd like to know, you know, you really get into it here in the studio. I mean, being out there, where's the big difference? So, are you like so focused once you're on the stage that it doesn't get you as much as it gets you here?
There's definitely a little bit of feeling that you're missing out.
Oh.
Absolutely, but you know, you cut every race with them watching it out there, like I'm mentally cutting it with them, but
not only mentally, sometimes he's sitting here swinging his arms.
This is a danger zone. This is, yeah, these long arms are just
especially with the single buck.
But you know, both teams, like I think everything is shaken down the way we kind of expected it to. Like teams cut to their potential, and you can see little mistakes happen sometimes, but that is because those teams are riding that razor edge. When you know you have to lay down your absolute best cuts in order to get past a team, that's what you do. It doesn't always, that gamble doesn't always pay off, but you know it's what you need to do if you want that gold medal. And these four teams, these powerhouses that we see here, they've come for a gold medal. That's it. They didn't come for a bronze, for a silver, to put up personal best times or even world records. Every team comes here with the goal of a gold medal, and that's it.
Boys, quick question from me here. What's your favorite moment so far up to the semi or the final here in the small final?
Wow, that's...
Does one thing stick out for you?
Yeah, for me, the world record. I just love seeing world records and being part of this and hearing the crowd roar and yeah, just knowing we've just seen something epic. That was my favorite moment for today.
I think seeing the French team out there have success.
Yeah.
You know, that's what, whenever we go to these places, it's a special thing when the host country goes on stage, and to see the French team cut some great cuts and get out there and have success in front of their home crowd and feel the support of their home crowd like that, that's what this sport's all about.
A personal best under a minute. Fantastic job by the French host team. Very good.
Talking about hearing the crowd, we've got the small final coming up, and we're ready to go back into the arena. Canada versus New Zealand for bronze, and then of course this one followed by the heats, Australia taking on the United States for gold here at the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS World Championships 2024 in Toulouse.
Let's get it on.
Oh yeah.
So, doing a little bit of stage cleaning for us.
Taking out the trash, some would say, you know?
Canada versus New Zealand in this small final. This is for the bronze medal. Yeah, I mean, New Zealand has been steadily climbing the ladder today from a not so great time trial to being in this small final. This is for the bronze medal. Of course, as you mentioned, Canada's got the strongest team that we've had in a long time. And both of these teams looking at very good personal best. But as I said in the previous round, you can throw that out the window now because it's just down to got to do your job on stage.
And you know, these are redemption cuts for both of these teams, having lost in the last round and knowing this is your last cut. You know, this is the last one. Some of these guys of their season type thing. So
especially for that man, Rob Dowling.
Yeah, you know, like it'll be interesting to see how this comes out because it can rattle your confidence as a single Sawyer having a couple hang-ups because you start second guessing what
Warm
happened,
up your saws.
Why did it happen, do I need to change something? So we'll see if he's shaking a little bit still or if he comes out like a man possessed and lays down one of those 10-second cuts.
Troy loves to call it the misery whip.
I got that from Sterling, actually.
Ah, okay. But he keeps telling me, and I totally understand now because that's exactly the situation you don't want to be in.
Go! All right, here we go. This is for the bronze medal. That third and fourth place positions in the competition. That's a nice thin cut from Nick Russell for Canada. Ooh, that was a very quick transition for Canada.
Wow.
I hope that doesn't cause problems for them, but they are over to the other side. Nate Cumberland up against Jack Jordan. Jack Jordan once again looking very good, but could Nate Cumberland get him on this? Oh! Dead even on that underhand chop as they head over to the single.
Oh, look at him go. Look at him go.
For Marcel Dupuis and Rob Dowling really wanting to have a clean cut. Rob Dowling looking good. Marcel Dupuis looking good. Marcel Dupuis got him just at the end there. Rob Dowling was close. And moving over to Shane Jordan up against Ben Cumberland. Ben Cumberland on that second side. Shane Jordan on the second side. Oh my goodness, folks. It's going to be Canada.
Oh!
And it is once again Canada with the bronze medal and a time of 49.08.
What a finish.
And that should be a personal best for Canada as well.
Beautiful humans, you. My boys.
Amazing.
Sensational.
Whew, that was a fantastic heat.
Oh, wow. That was a small final.
Tell you what, Nathan Cumberland earned his chocolate milk tonight, boy.
Now I'm looking at an updated time here, 48.81. Canada's previous personal best with a 49.72, so that should be marked up as a personal best here, but I don't see that being put up on screen yet, and I don't know why.
And it feels like I've definitely just been put out to pasture. It looks like I will be staying with you guys indefinitely.
Which is completely welcome.
You ever feel not needed? Yeah.
Oh, that was a great heat.
Awesome cut. Each one of those guys on Team Canada did their job. You know, Nick Russell won every single cut that he did against every single race.
Wow.
And we'll go over this. We'll go over this a little bit more in depth.
Oh, we should.
After we get the final decision here from.
The winner is Canada.
So there it is officially. Canada taking bronze at the World Championships here in Toulouse. Oh, look at the smiles. And well deserved. That was a great performance.
As we hear, as I was saying, Nick Russell, you know, he put everything into his one event here. And he did not lose a stock saw race this entire day. He put up the fastest times. And then Nate Cumberland, man, to have that boy back, outcutting world champion Jack Jordan. And then Marcel Dupuis just always so consistent. You know, didn't lose an inch to one of the best sawyers in the world, Bobby Dowling. And then Ben Cumberland, I thought he was in trouble here. He had a little bit of a scoop on the front side, and you saw the block actually split. But he made the adjustments he needed to, cut that backside, and you see Nick Russell knows he's got his medal.
That was a great jump as well. I mean, hey, he got some amplitude there. Oh, there's the split on Shane Jordan's block as well. Didn't
Tell
seem
you
to
what,
affect him much.
there is no better feeling than that right there. Winning with a team trumps any individual achievement you will ever have.
We are here now with Team Canada. Congratulations, guys. Can you make one more time some noise for Team Canada, please? Yes. So, how tough was it to win this bronze medal final?
Ah, c'était incroyable pour nous autres à être sur la médaille de bronze. Puis on a remercié toute la France, puis la foule qui nous a appuyés toute la journée. C'était incroyable. Puis un gros merci pour tout. Puis on aimerait remercier tout le monde qui nous a supportés aussi. Incroyable. Merci beaucoup, France.
It was just unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. The crowd were with us all the day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, French crowd. Thank you, guys. I don't remember. No, it's not your first time as a bronze medalist. What can you expect for the next World Championship? Do you want to be better?
Ben, comme vous avez vu aujourd'hui, toutes les équipes ici sont pour gagner. Tout le monde a amélioré. Il y a des temps personnels qui ont été cassés toute la journée. Puis la compétition, c'est incroyable comment que ça a élevé. On a eu un record du monde par l'Australie aujourd'hui. C'est incroyable. Tout le monde se pousse. Puis le sport peut être monté. Puis l'année prochaine, ça va encore être meilleur.
The competition is just so close. Every teams are just so close. And the next year, it will be so amazing, but more amazing. Thank you very much, Marcel. And congratulations one more time, Team Canada. You can applaud one more time, Team Canada!
Am I seeing you get emotional, Sterling?
No.
You're not crying.
Do not cut to the studio.
Yes,
I'm not crying.
Do
You're
not
crying.
cut to the
Do not cut
studio.
to studio now, yeah.
I get allergies.
Yeah.
Usually around medal rounds, I always get allergies. So.
All right, folks.
Oh, yes, this is it. The final. Who's gonna go home with gold from Toulouse? Will it be Team Australia or will it be the United States of America?
My question is, did Australia blow it too early and get that world record too early and have left it all on the table too early and the US is ready for that top spot? Or do they have another gear?
I think somebody mentioned something about that world record being broken again in the finals.
I would never, ever bet against the Australia. I mean, I have bet against the Australians, but...
That's only when you were on stage, right?
Yeah, you got to back yourself, right? But they've got more in the tank. Watching that last round, they cut it fast, but they've got more in the tank still.
And let's remember Jack Jordan did that at the World Trophy.
Absolutely.
Semi-final world record, beating his own world record in the final.
Absolutely, but
So
the States knows, like, they're hungry. They've had so many silver medals over the years.
Uh-oh. Look at Braden.
The block is loose. They want to make sure that block is tight. They're calling over the judge.
You know, and I have kind of noticed that a little bit. You've seen a few of these blocks actually split.
Okay.
You wouldn't always notice it, but if there is a bit of a slight rattle to that block, if it's not in there securely, it's going to absorb a lot of the force that you exert on that with your axe, right? So you're losing a little bit. And when it comes down to this here, we want everything to be dead fair for both sides, right? So probably what they're going to do is they'll bring out a bit of a shim, and they'll probably shim it up a little bit just to ensure that that block is in there nice and tight. We want every athlete here to have the utmost confidence in what they're doing and not have to worry about any of the equipment failing them at some time.
But
They won't release the dogs on there and re-secure them that way, will they?
No,
Not
they
likely.
most likely won't, because those have all been drawn up and placed in a very specific way, because your feet need to be in a certain position, you know, and the way we call them the dogs, that's those metal pieces that are actually stuck into the block there. And I assume that's the conversation that they're having on stage here with
And Andrew Hall is talking off stage to Bart Janssen, and I think Bart is trying to deal with how to shim those up, or like you said, shim them up.
I assume that's what they're looking for, is some shit. Yeah, there you go there.
What they've got now.
Just to add to the drama a little bit. Yeah, the Aussie boys just getting after it. Yeah, she'd be right.
It's truth, mate.
That means it'll be okay. Yeah. Here it is. Finding the perfect chip is key in this. They're looking for end grain. Now you see the thin edge of that.
No way.
I'm trying to make this sound analytical because I'm running out of clever things to say, but basically there's bashing wood chips with a hammer into the block here. But as we said, you know, we've seen this come down to milliseconds, right? So you've done all the work, all the training to get to this point. You want to have everything just as fair as you possibly can. Yeah, just break it off. Hit it with the hammer.
Just to add to the tension of the moment here and make it even more palpable here outside the arena and inside the arena.
It looks like Braden's the expert here, right?
Absolutely. How many Aussies does it take to secure a block? So we see Global Sports Director out there, Nathan Waterfield. We're getting everybody into the action here.
Well, everybody wants to be part of this final. I completely understand.
Yeah, and now this is one of the things, because the athletes are so busy getting ready for their next heats, as they go out backstage, the blocks are already set in place.
Okay.
And there's a couple of things that could happen here. It's actually quite cold out tonight. And so as these blocks move from outside to inside, there could be a bit of a change in temperature, which causes the wood to swell and move a little bit. I may be reaching, but again, I am running out of clever things to say. And without being there on stage.
The crowd doesn't mind having a great time here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is a full house in these steep arenas.
As you,
Just one more heat.
All right, it appears as though we
Both
are ready
teams
to
are ready.
go.
Yeah, we'll see if that little extra break, if it put some confidence in the mind,
Warm
or
up
if that
your
was
saws.
kind of icing the kicker. as the
Interestingly
Aussies would
enough,
say.
both sides had to adjust that standing block, though.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could look at it from the standpoint of everybody's got the same playing field.
Yeah, when you got a Mitchell Argent or a Jason Lentz bashing on that block, though, you're going to want that sucker secured in there pretty good.
For sure.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, good even start by both on stock. Yeah, nice transition by Australia, heading over to Braden Meyer. Heon's on that second side, quick. Matt Kogar moving over about 3-4 strokes behind Braden Meyer. And Meyer's through very fast. Oh my goodness. That was a quick cut by Braden Meyer, 10.61. Matt Kogar got a 12.23. And Brad DeLosa making it look easy again. This is going to be a fast time as they are already over to Mitch Argent on the standing block chop. Jason Lentz on his standing block chop. Mitch Argent on the second side. Will Jason Lentz manage to bring him home? No way! Unbelievable! Another world record! It is a prophetic moment here for Sterling Hart, and the Aussies have done it again. They've broken the world record, and they are repeat world champions. What's that? 732 times now? That is an unbelievable effort by Team Australia.
And now they're willing to celebrate. That's what you said.
Now it's allowed.
There is not a pub in town that will be safe tonight. There is just.
Oh my goodness.
You know, we are all like, we should consider ourselves fortunate that we are getting to witness Australia cutting. We are witnessing some of the greatest, if not the greatest, wood chopping that has ever happened in
and
history.
let's not forget, the United States just cut a personal best in this final.
Yes.
A personal
45.60.
What would have been a near world record time 25 minutes ago.
That's unbelievable, hey?
You know, they just prove time and time again why they are the champions. It's well deserved, Australia. Well deserved.
Fantastic. What a run. But that underhand chop by Braden Meyer, oh my goodness, was that ever fast. And of course, that
Ladies and
single
gentlemen,
saw. Oh, wow.
another world record by your new world champion, Australia.
5 years in a row.
I'm getting a bit bored of this, to be honest with you. Unbelievable. Australia, 2 world records in one day, and yeah, that's a 5-peat now. Back to back to back.
And again, just on the strength of their wood choppers there. Like, every event was perfect, you know, but Braden Meyer's on that underhand. It's one of those natural phenomenons. You can't hope to beat it. You can only hope to contain it, you know?
Yeah.
And insane, as you can see.
Brilliant.
Some of the split times here. Braden Meyer with a 10.61 on the underhand. Brad DeLosa with an 11.38 on the single saw. And Mitchell Argent with a 12.5. But looking at the States, Matt Kogar with a 12-second underhand. Mark Beauquin with another 10-second single saw. Mark Beauquin, the silent unicorn of this Team World Championships. Like,
silent unicorn.
The gentle giant. No, they did everything they needed to. And Australia, again, just absolute lights out. Braden Meyer could not have cut this any faster. 6 in the front, turned around, 6 in the back. Just unheard of. A few years ago, unheard of. And he just does it like it's routine now. Nobody can mimic it.
They try.
Yeah, absolutely.
They try.
And Brad DeLosa just proving, you know, why he is the veteran leader of this team. Jamie Head just putting every ounce of energy he can to call in Mitch Argent through that block.
Jamie Head, last year's individual world champion.
Absolutely, and here you'll see it. As you see, and Mitch Argent actually could have cut this a hit faster, if you can believe that or not. He went for the safe cut, making sure that thing came off, a veteran move, and still a world championships, as you now see 4 grown men on Christmas morning.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Mom got the cereal with the sugar. That's the face you see on those boys right there.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just so happy right now. Pure joy.
And well deserved.
Well, very well deserved. What a difference of emotions from a minute before, hey?
Let's see what they have to say.
43-15.
Wow.
Bravo, messieurs, in French. Bravo. Félicitations. Congratulations, guys. You were so amazing today. You beat the world record 2 times today. 2 times today. How did you do that? I don't know. It's just amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Incredible bunch of guys here, you know, a lot of talent on the team there, a lot of experience. A couple of young guys, a couple of old fellas, and we yeah, really put it together. But thank you very much for the crowd here at Toulouse. It's been amazing to compete in front of all you guys, and congratulations to all the other teams on a great effort. But today we got the job done and we're super happy.
Allez, pour faire le résumé rapide, vous l'avez compris. Ils ont travaillé avant sur le tunnel, ils étaient prêts, ils voulaient absolument battre une nouvelle fois le 2e record. Et grâce à vous toutes et tous, une nouvelle fois dans ces tribunes, ils ont réussi à le battre et ils vous remercient. Bravo Toulouse, encore une fois. Toulouse is a beautiful city, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful city. You know, I've never been to France, so it was a great welcoming and couldn't have had a better time.
Is Toulouse help us, no, not me. Is Toulouse help you to win tonight?
Yeah, it was good. I didn't understand much what you said then, but it was a great venue, an even better crowd. Like, that's probably the best crowd we've had. You know, it's unbelievable. And to have some of our Aussie supporters over here, yeah, how good.
Bon, il n'a pas compris ma question, mais il a quand même répondu. Il vous remercie, public, ici. Vous êtes le meilleur public de tous les championnats du monde qui ont pu exister. Il a remercié également ses collègues là-bas, australiens. Bravo Toulouse, bravo, bravo guys. Congratulations one more time. You are one more time winners of the World Championships. Mesdames et messieurs, l'équipe d'Australie, Team Australia!
Boys got the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, did they ever get the job done in record time, no less.
Absolutely. Oh, brilliant.
I mean, that was like the motor with the turbocharger that didn't get used for half the race, and then all of a sudden they just decided, yeah, let's click that switch and make it happen. Boy, they really came strong in the last half of this competition because, yeah, we saw them have the fastest time in the time trials, and then they kind of dipped a little bit during the round of 16, and we kind of looked at the situation and went, okay, there's some teams that are really making inroads here, and then all of a sudden it was like, nah, boys, we're not doing it right, let's go. And then there we go, world champions, 2 world records.
And this man called it, you know.
Yeah, he did.
2 world records. Let's take a look at the final results. It's official now. Australia taking the win. Silver goes to the United States, and Canada going home with proud bronze. New Zealand's on 4th, Poland's taking 5th. France, not bad, 6th place. That's impressive. That was
great.
great.
New personal best as well.
Yep. Sweden on 7th position, Austria taking the 8th position. Then we have Czechia on the 9, and Belgium still in the top 10. So congratulations.
Yeah, Czechia, a bit of a strange spot for them this year. Sterling mentioned it earlier as well. Not what we're used to seeing from that team. So maybe more going on there than we're used to, or behind the scenes.
Yeah, just to finish the rankings, Germany 11, Switzerland 12, Great Britain on 13th position, Italy taking 14th place, Netherlands 15th place, Hungary 16, Norway on 17th position, Ireland 18th, and our newcomers, China on 19th place, but with a very good impression that they left for everyone, I think.
Oh, China should leave with their heads held very high. You know, for their first time being here on this world stage, they showed their potential already. And, you know, they're just going to continue to keep getting better and better. And now that they've had a taste, you know, a lot of these teams that you see at the top, none of them had athletes that had never been here before, right? They're all seasoned veterans, and competing up on that stage is a lot different than competing anywhere else in the world. Like, no other championship anywhere in the world prepares you properly for competing on the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS world stage. It's a different thing. The lights are very bright, and you know, the pressure can either crumble you or it can create a diamond, right? So
yeah. It can bake a nice cake or it can burn your souffle.
That's a good French analogy.
As long as we're in France, right?
Yeah. And we have Australian diamonds going on stage very soon. We're handing back over to our field reporter, Johan, because the winner's ceremony is about to start.
We promise.
I've gotten 2 blinks in so far.
Coucou mesdames et messieurs, vous l'avez compris, nous allons passer à la cérémonie officielle de remise des récompenses, des médailles et bien sûr du trophée. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the official award ceremony for this STIHL TIMBERSPORTS World Championships Teams World Championships 2024. On the third place and winner of the bronze medal, mesdames et messieurs, la 3e place et vainqueur de la médaille de bronze. Please applause and make some noise for Team Canada! Allez, vous pouvez encore les encourager, mesdames et messieurs. L'équipe du Canada présente à Toulouse ici pour ces championnats du monde. Par équipe, bien sûr. And the bronze medal will be presented by Ingrid Jägering, Executive Board Member Finance. Mesdames et messieurs, la médaille de bronze va être présentée par Ingrid Jägering, membre du directoire finance du groupe STIHL. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please make some noise for Team Canada! At the second place and winner of the silver medal. Mesdames et messieurs, 2e place et vainqueur de la médaille d'argent. Merci d'applaudir. Please make some noise, Team USA! Allez, une fois de plus, un tonnerre d'applaudissements pour l'équipe des États-Unis d'Amérique. Et vous le voyez, on vous le répète, hein, le respect entre tous les compétiteurs. You can show the respect between all athletes. It's also that the STIHL TIMBERSPORTS. The silver medal will be presented by Mrs. Rachida Lucaso, Region Councillor Occitanie, conseillère régionale Occitanie. Et vous le voyez également, l'équipe des États-Unis d'Amérique qui fait partie également des équipes qui a une féminine. Vous pouvez les applaudir très fort. The United States of America! Silver medalist. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you have to stand up. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de bien vouloir vous lever. Toutes et tous, please stand up. To one more time, welcome the first place, world champion and winner of the gold medal STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Teams World Championships 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Australia! One more time, ladies and gentlemen, Team Australia! And the gold medal will be presented by Jean-Christophe Savoyer, Managing Director Liber France, Directeur Général Liber France. Et on vous le rappelle, cette équipe d'Australie qui s'est entraînée pendant une semaine à Pamiers en compagnie de l'équipe de France. C'est un petit peu notre équipe aussi quand même. Hein. Vous allez pouvoir une fois de plus les applaudir très fort dans quelques instants. And now the trophy to winning team, to Australia team. Will be presented by axe-tion, General Manager STIHL France, Président de STIHL France. Yeah. Vous pouvez aussi accueillir le trophée, mesdames et messieurs, avec une nouvelle fois l'Australie. Allez, un tonnerre d'applaudissements, mesdames et messieurs, pour l'équipe d'Australie! The winner, Team Australia! Et à présent, mesdames et messieurs, en honneur de l'équipe vainqueur de ces championnats du monde, nous allons une nouvelle fois vous inviter à bien vouloir vous mettre debout afin de respecter l'hymne national de l'Australie. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of the winning team, we will now hear the national anthem of Australia. C'est parti pour la douche de champagne. It's time for the champagne shower. Allez, une fois de plus, mesdames et messieurs, merci de les applaudir très fort. Le Canada, les États-Unis d'Amérique et l'Australie sur le podium de ces championnats du monde STIHL TIMBERSPORTS de 2024. La photo également avec toutes les équipes. Ils étaient 19, mesdames et messieurs, 19 au départ cet après-midi. Ils sont tous en train de revenir sur le podium. Et une dernière fois, vous allez pouvoir applaudir très fort, mesdames et messieurs. Il y avait l'équipe de Suède, l'équipe de Pays-Bas, il y avait le Canada, la Pologne, les États-Unis d'Amérique, l'Australie, l'Italie, la Hongrie, l'Autriche, l'Allemagne, la République tchèque, la Chine, la Nouvelle-Zélande, la Norvège, la Suisse, l'Irlande, la Grande-Bretagne, la Belgique, bien sûr, l'équipe de France.
Oh wow, what a night.
Stop doing that. Give us some warning when you're coming back. Every time.
How much did you guys enjoy that?
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah,
It was fantastic. Are you kidding
Crazy.
me? What a contest. Same results as last year, 2023, repeated again in 2024 on our podium. But I tell you what, Australia with 2 world records in one competition.
We didn't have that last year.
Nope.
No, that was dramatic fashion today. Those were some good races. Everything kind of shook out mostly how we thought it would. France, though, the host country, coming in 6th place. Like that's they
Awesome.
cut
With a
to the
personal best under a
potential
minute
and-
as well, so it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, they cut outside of their skin there. Like that was they should be very proud of the host country there. But again, the Australians.
It was day 1 of 2, by the way, and tomorrow you and me are gonna go Instagram live at 6 p.m. I haven't told you yet, but we're gonna do that tomorrow.
Surprise!
So if you want to join us, you know, we'd be happy to answer questions, especially this man here, and that's gonna be a nice one as well to look forward to.
Absolutely, there'll be lots of surprises for all of us tomorrow, I'm sure.
For sure. Hopefully not technical surprises like today, but we managed it, right?
Nobody died. No.
Oh, that was beautiful. Just sitting next to you guys, enjoying it that much. And we've got the most beautiful scenes of the day coming up as well. And tomorrow night, of course, we'll be back in this studio to commentate on the Individual World Championship 2024. And that's going to start at 20... Well, that's how they say it in Europe. 8 p.m.
8
Central
p.m.
European time. Yes, absolutely.
We still say 8.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, 2000 hours.
There you
That was
go.
okay. Thank you very much. The most beautiful pictures of the day coming up. Have a great night and see you tomorrow.
See you, everybody.